Saturday, sunny and 84. Sunday, sunny and 81. And Monday, sunny, 81 once again. No complaints. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, it's a Friday, and we're happy that you're here. Gosh, it's the little things, isn't it? Are you the type of person, like, if something needs to get done, Ryan, big or small, especially when it's small, and you get it done, do you feel an extra sense of accomplishment because you finally did the thing that you've been nagged about, that is a little thing? It's easy to push to the side and not get to it.
Yes.
And the amount of procrastination that has gone into not fixing said teeny tiny thing. It's like when you decide to be the grown-up and take care of it. It's an embarrassing personal sense of accomplishment.
There's a shoe that's been in our garage.
This sounds like the start of a folk song.
For 3 weeks. I don't know whose it is.
You don't know whose the shoe? You got a shoe in your garage?
It's probably my daughter's, but I'm not sure.
What's it doing there?
I don't know, but it shouldn't be there. And
Does the shoe just need to go in the trash can?
Probably.
But it's too big of a commitment.
But I don't know. There are questions that need to be asked. Is this a part of a pair? Whose is it?
Let me ask
Why
you a
is
question.
it here?
It's been there for how long?
3 weeks.
So, and you truly don't know whose shoe it is?
I think it's my daughter's.
Have you asked her?
No.
Do you just get home, see the shoe, and have 18 seconds of freaking shoe?
Yes. I hate that shoe.
Is it a nice shoe? Like
yes.
if it had a pair?
It's a New Balance.
So it's a name brand tennis shoe that if you saw that at a nice yard sale for $5, you'd be like, that's a score. I'm going to get that.
That's why I can't throw it away.
But you haven't brought yourself to the place where you've asked your daughter why her shoe is there.
Correct.
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. This cord, which I've complained about before on the air, a professional responsibility to be able to hear what's going on in the show. I have to spend the first segment of every show holding this cord in a certain way so I can hear what's coming through my headphones.
You shouldn't do that.
You'd think that, like your shoe, I would address the cord. But it still doesn't work.
Oh, I thought this was going to have a happy ending.
No, not yet. We'll see how. We'll see. I mean, what I usually end up getting the cord to work at the beginning of the show, eventually, and by the end of the show, you guys know I'm blazing out of here to go get my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fix the cord, but as soon as I put my headphones on, every day, I'm like, freaking cord, just like your shoe. Brad, you got something?
I've had headphones like that too.
Usually, you replace the whole headphones.
You just got to buy new headphones.
But I'm not buying. These are
good ones.
These are good ones, and it's impossible to find great quality headphones that are corded. Everything's Bluetooth now. It's hard to find corded headphones that are really nice quality headphones that look pretty.
That's your lesson. Never buy nice things.
That's not my lesson.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
No.
Brad, do you have a thing?
I have a stack of things. It could be anything from cleaning off an end table in my living room or my kitchen table.
Isn't mail the worst?
Oh, it's awful.
Don't send me mail.
I don't mind mail.
You could send me cash in the mail. I'm not going to get it.
I get one thing in the mail that I appreciate. Like one time a year, I get stuff in the mail that I appreciate, and it's Christmas and it's Christmas cards, and that's it. Outside of that, it's like why are we still doing this? We have email.
It's just advertisements.
I like those.
What?
I like advertisements.
What?
And I like getting political stuff in the mail.
You can go get my mail and you can have it.
As long as I can keep the cash people are sending you that you don't know about.
I have no idea. I won't ever miss it.
Okay.
I won't know.
All right. Deal.
Texas giving the president a little bit of a gift today. The Fox News reports from Deidre Heavey and Alex Miller at Fox News. Governor Abbott has signed a new congressional map into law, securing an additional 5 Republican-leaning U.S. House districts ahead of a competitive midterm election expected in 2026. Abbott's signature on Friday marks the culmination of a partisan redistricting debate that has captivated the country's attention and inspired an eye-for-an-eye effort by California Democrats. I get it. I understand why that's the way that's written. But Texas is stepping into the game. Texas didn't declare the game. And I think Texas has more reason to do what they're doing right now. Illinois just does it because they can. In California, if California counteracts what Texas does, we've talked about this before, but there are still a lot of red states that are in a position to do said thing. I think didn't I hear that Indiana was having a conversation with the administration?
I haven't heard that specifically, but they definitely have been talking about it.
Yeah, everyone's got to be talking about it. And if the game plays all the way out, Democrats lose. I kind of feel like California is going to do whatever California wants to do. That's fine. Let them be. But if they want to be in a position where they're doing this actually for the long haul, where it actually benefits them at the end of the day in Congress, when all is said and done, the Democrats are going to lose big time.
Deep dive here, but California, the proposed maps that I've seen, they will help California in this next election, and that's the goal.
They'll help Democrats or California?
They'll help Democrats, sorry.
California Democrats.
They'll help California Democrats and national Democrats in the next election in 2026, and that's the whole purpose of it. But I have seen also that if trends continue with Hispanic men, very, very small group of people, not a huge demographic, but just Hispanic, just men, if they continue to move in the direction they have, by the time we get to 2028 and 2030, those maps will actually possibly favor Republicans in California. That's how dicey those maps are. Texas, they're locking theirs in. California's are tough to do, but they're going to do them.
Oh.
Oops.
Is that why they're saying that it would be temporary and it's going to go back?
That might be.
No, I think that's maybe the constitutional requirement they have. We don't see Democrats anywhere. We talked with Chad Pergram earlier this week. We don't see Democrats anywhere talking about policy. They're still only talking about methods. I said when we were talking with Chad Pergram, I break party politics down into 3 groups: money, methods, and messaging. And the Democrats seem to be struggling. The DNC apparently just helped Kamala Harris out with $20 million of debt from the campaign. Slid him a cool 20 mil. So that didn't go well. Have you ever seen people criticize the right for having all the money in politics? These people don't know that she spent $1 billion. $1 billion on that. Money can't buy you everything, apparently. If you spend $1 billion and you have not just the financial resources to really manifest whatever it is that you want to do in politics, and you've got Kamala Harris, who you would think, looking at the Democrat Party, that having a woman of color would rake in a whole host of votes, and you got $1 billion to back her up, then you got to start. The money is there. Let's look at methods and messaging. The methods probably won Joe Biden the presidency in 2020. Even if there weren't fake ballots that were stuffed into boxes and pulled out at 3 a.m., even if that didn't actually happen to any measurable extent, their methods of what they did in the Pennsylvania court system to change the way the elections were held in Pennsylvania, the type of things that they did across the country with mail-in ballots because of COVID measures. They changed all the methods, the system with which we try to secure a safe election. COVID was a part of it, so that's an anomaly in our American history of having an election. I think they utilized it to the max to make sure that the system, the methods they used to win an election were all tilting in the favor of the Democrats, and it worked in 2020. But then you're left with messaging, because in 2024, they didn't have those methods in place. In 2024, the Republicans saw what happened in 2020, and they put lawyers all over the country to make sure that these sketch locations were supervised. They tried to do everything they could to tilt the system in their favor, really within the confines of the law, maybe dipping a toe in the gray area. But when you've got a system to back you up that is in favor of what you're trying to do, that's how you get lawfare. It's another part of the methods of the Democrat Party. They have not even considered messaging as a reason why they lost. They think that their messaging doesn't deserve any attention, doesn't deserve any tweaking. Their message sucks. They don't have good policies. The Democratic left right now, whoever is speaking for the Democratic left, they have no message. It's socialism and it's hate. They don't have a message that resonates with the American people. You can't really have good messaging if the core message sucks. And then you do the other side. You do the survey of what the Republicans have done. Their message is their strongest asset. The policies that they want to put in place resonate with the American people, and their crazy ideas like, I'd like there to be less crime, or police officers are good for our communities and our safety, and we should celebrate them and have more of them, or I don't really feel like letting people bust through the front door or come in the back door, sit down at my table, and act like they've lived there forever and are entitled to everything that we have. Figuratively speaking, but on a national scale, that's what the southern border has been. I think there are two genders. I think there are boys and there are girls, and they're different, and their differences make them great and special, and they should be celebrated. But there are just two. Like super common sense things. They're not. You look at what President Trump has advocated for. The only thing that I can really think of that Donald Trump has implemented in his first 7 months in the presidency, correct me if you think of another one. The only thing that I can really think of that he brings to the table that is squarely in the Donald Trump lane of genius, there I'll say it, is the tariff strategy.
That's exactly what I didn't know if that's where you're going, but that's what I was going to say.
I mean, all the other things are like, duh. Like, obviously. You say it and everyone's like, who's really against that? Now you look at Democrats across the country and they're like, get those officers, that law enforcement out of here. We don't want your law and order. We like our crime. That's like a Democratic mantra right now. All of that type of stuff is basic. Super basic. And the left fled from common sense basic. The left made it so that you couldn't even say the word normal anymore. It became abnormal to understand normal with the far progressive left. Now you come in and you start saying terror stuff, and even the economists that we talked to on the show, specifically Steve Moore, a lot of free trade people in the Republican Party are like, I don't know. And it seems to be working.
I would add to that he has made it a priority internationally to end wars.
But that's still a widely acceptable position for Americans, not just on the red team, but the blue team. That's a come-together moment.
But he's done it.
Yes.
He has ended multiple wars. They may not be the ones you're paying attention to as much, but he's trying hard even on those.
And his goal in all of them is to end them.
Yes.
There's not this kind of like, gosh, it seems like there might be an American government interest in keeping this war going, and it doesn't seem like they're super focused on trying to make the killing stop. That's not the case with this administration. That was the case with the Biden administration. That was the case with the Obama administration. That was the case maybe with the Bush administration. But not with the Trump administration. And you're hearing person after person after person, Bill Maher is one of them, who said something to the effect on his show like, I say this, and I say this as somebody who can't really explain why I know this, but I absolutely know this. The president hates war. He hates seeing people killed in war. He truly, from a humanity's sake, hates the killing and the war and the death. That is this a word? Humanification?
No.
Yes. I made it. What would the word be? The making of humanity in one person. Isn't humanification a pretty good word?
I'm not saying it's a bad word. I'm just saying it's not
a word. Well, you say stuff like that and you're Bill Maher and you're talking to like the lefties, you're turning that man into a human being and people can relate to human beings. That's not been allowed for Donald Trump up until this last campaign. I mean, it started happening in the campaign for sure. But we're now in a place where people look at Donald Trump and they're starting to understand him. What a threat to the Democrat Party. All right, here's the poll for today. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Will the DOJ investigations into the Trump-hating deep state result in any prominent figures going to jail? I don't think I put that up yet. I'm going to put that up on the YouTube
Let's go ahead and make that the poll.
Let's make that the poll officially. Do you feel strongly one way or another about this?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let's discuss that when we come back. I need to know from you, do you need to see people go to jail, and do you think people are going to go to jail? 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. Give us a call and tell us what you think, and we'll discuss when we come back. Don't go away.
Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Winchell, Joe DiMaggio, Joe McCarthy, Richard Nixon, Studebaker, Television, North Korea, South Korea, Marilyn Monroe.
AirComfortService.com. When you call Air Comfort Service, this is funny. Just stick with me here. When you call Air Comfort Service and you talk to them about coming out and having an HVAC service done at your house, maybe the AC is not working, you know the furnace is not going to be up to snuff this winter. Here's what you do. You call them at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. You call and ask about an AC or HVAC service in August, so you need to get this in quickly. Schedule it, but then also ask them about their undies. And this is for real. You got to call Air Comfort Service, schedule that appointment, and ask about their undies. And you are going to partner with them by just simply asking that question. They're going to donate a new pair of underwear and socks to kids in foster care through the Foster Together organization. It's just one of the many ways that Corey Malone leads Air Comfort Service and their team into giving back to their community. They do this with the Honor Flight, incredibly partnered with them and ingrained with them, but also foster kids. This is an easy way to help. So call them at 314-513-0091. Find them online at aircomfortservice.com/undies.
Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, offering small ship experiences with a shore excursion included in every port and programs designed for cultural enrichment. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey will end, but I know where to start. They tell me I'm too young to understand. They say I'm caught up in a dream. Well, life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes, so that's fine by me. So wake me up.
So yesterday we were talking with Hans von Spakovsky, I believe it was, about President Obama, and his Obama's office responded to the allegations that essentially Obama directed the whole Russia hoax, the Russia collusion hoax. And you might be thinking, like, we're talking about Russia all the time. What's the hoax? Well, there was, after Donald Trump was elected in 2016, there was a lot of information released by the Obama administration that said that Donald Trump was in collusion with Russia to try to steal that election. Now, if you go back earlier, there were allegations that came from that stupid Steele dossier that Hillary Clinton purchased as some sort of operation to try to besmirch Donald Trump's name that alleged an inappropriate relationship with people in Russia, so on and so forth. So the Democrats, politically, the Democrats worked overtime to try to smear Donald Trump's name and keep him from being elected. But then when he still got elected, they said, we're going to keep him from governing. And the intelligence agencies came back and gave a report because there had been discussion about whether or not Russia was working with Donald Trump to try to sway the election. There were discussions about that. The intelligence reports come back to President Obama and they say, listen, we have zero, zilch verifiable evidence that Russia and Donald Trump were working together to affect this election. There is no evidence whatsoever. What they didn't say is that there was no evidence that Russia tried to meddle in the elections. This is the key point, folks, because when you listen to what President Obama comes back and says, President Obama's office replies and says, there are obvious reports that Russia was trying to sway the election. We gave those reports. You can go back and roll the tape and see where our administration was saying, look here is where Russia tried to interfere with our election, and it did not work. Key point here, that's not what the Russia collusion story is actually about. The Russia collusion story was about the Obama administration taking something that was proven and reported to be true after they had the information that Russia was trying to work its way into, Facebook ads and stuff like that to try to affect the American election, that Russia was trying to do that. The Obama administration went back to the intelligence organizations that said there is nothing here that says that Donald Trump had anything to do that. Barack Obama sent them back and said, try again. I need a report that says that did happen. That's the latest reporting on this Russia collusion hoax. And the evidence suggests that Barack Obama orchestrated, colluded to interfere with Donald Trump's ability to govern. And then the rest of the story, that it led to impeachment. They tried to stop him from governing and they tried to remove him from governing. Do you think that any prominent figure in this deep state operation will end up in jail, Ryan?
Yes. And I think it's different this time because the only other time that this would have happened would have been Trump's first term. And Trump himself has said that he approached that with a attitude of forgiveness to Hillary Clinton specifically. This time, he is not so naive, and he is pushing, and he is going to continue to push until something happens with this. And I believe, based on just the evidence we've seen, let alone anything else that we haven't, that there definitely is enough to convict these guys. So I'm a yes on this poll. We will see jail time, arrests, whatever you want to call it.
Arrests and jail time are not the same
thing.
So
you're saying that we have to specifically do
Trey
jail.
Gowdy just said yesterday, he gets so annoyed when people say, like, oh, big story, we've made an arrest. He's like, that's when the process begins. That's the first third of the process. Because you can arrest somebody who then has their day in court and isn't even found guilty, let alone jail time. A lot of people who have watched this story evolve over a decade want to see jail time. That's the question. Will these investigations result in prominent figures going to jail? That's after arrests, that's after mugshots, that's after court cases, that's sentencing, that's jail.
That adds a lot to it.
It's the question.
And I'm still going to say yes.
Who?
I still think it's going to be Brennan. He is the most on record of any of them. They've got him basically perjuring himself already. So he's going to be
and you think he's going to go to jail for
He's
that?
going to be the easiest one to get because it's so black and white on him. On the others, I do think there's a very high likelihood that it could happen. But with Brennan, I'm going to say him alone is a yes.
Brad, what do you think?
I think no. No. And here's why I would say no to Brennan. I think you're right about having the most on him, but they would have to indict him in D.C. They couldn't get that man who hit that police officer with a sandwich to be indicted. It's on film. It is assault. And
It was a super lame throw.
Yeah, it was a super lame throw and a super lame runaway,
Probably a pretty delicious sandwich, which could be a crime in and of itself.
And
we could probably find that sandwich still.
They couldn't indict him. They couldn't get him indicted. He went free because the D.C. jury would not do it. There is not a D.C. jury that will indict anyone on here. And then I would say wider in the country, I don't think the country is ready to believe that their leadership actually did something as horrific as this.
314-241-9797 if you want to call us and tell us what you think. if anyone's actually going to go to jail. And I'd also be curious, do you want to see them go to jail? Do you need to see somebody go to jail? 314-241-9797. There's a difference between being disappointed. Like, I think we'd all be disappointed. I want anybody who was involved in this if they committed a crime, I want them in jail. That's it. I just want them in jail. Will I be disappointed if they don't go? Yes. Will I be surprised? No. So I'm not going to rearrange my emotional state around. I'm not hanging on the edge of this going, if they don't go to jail, I'm letting go. That's not a rational place for people to be. Do you need them to go to jail?
No, I don't need them to go to jail. I need them to face justice, whatever that looks like. If it doesn't result in jail, that's okay. But we got to see some justice.
Well, we got some phone calls coming in. I want to add a few more here. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Do you think anybody is going to go to jail for deep state crimes against President Trump, which honestly is really actually against the American people? And we want to know what you think. Are they going to go to jail? Do you need them to go to jail? Do you not care? Maybe you think, Annie, nobody did anything wrong. What are you talking about? I really want to take your phone call. 314-241-9797. Back in just a minute.
All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was lost.
TheDiamondShop.net. That's the website. You can go to visit them in Clayton this weekend. I hope you do. Labor Day weekend is a great time to go shopping and see what you can find, what you're looking for at the Diamond Shop. Maybe you have a person in mind, but not necessarily the thing. That's when you go to the Diamond Shop. You tell them what you're shopping for, what your budget is, and through August 30th. So you've got a couple more days here. Through August 30th, 40% off all diamond studs. Ooh, that's a good savings. 30% off all in-stock jewelry. So hurry up and get to the Diamond Shop this weekend and talk to the amazing, wonderful people there, especially when you get to meet Tom and you see some of the things that he's created, the absolute unique to the Diamond Shop pieces that he has. It's stunning. It's really an art form. When you walk in there, you're going to feel welcome. You're going to feel comfortable. You're going to feel respected. And you're going to feel better about your wallet because 40% off diamond studs. Yes, please. 30% off all in-stock jewelry, and including a VIP special. If you go online right now, you'll receive a free travel jewelry box with a $200 purchase. You can do this all online at thediamondshop.net.
Tomorrow, some of us will wake up and it will be our last day on this earth. It will be unexpected and without warning. Each year, 250,000 people will die from medical malpractice, the third leading cause of death in America. 43,000 will die in a car or truck crash. 6,000 will die working on the job. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and we represent many of these families. It's awful. Unfortunately, many times some of these family members are not speaking and never get to say, I'm sorry or goodbye. If you're at odds with a loved one, listen closely. Pick up the phone. Call them. Say you're sorry. I promise a huge burden will be lifted from your heart and your soul will be renewed. Even if you're not wrong in your own mind, it doesn't matter. Death is bad enough. Death without closure and love will follow you the rest of your days. Trust me on this. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, will the DOJ investigations into the Trump-hating deep state result in any prominent figures going to jail, yes or no? And we're taking your calls on that subject right now. 314-241-9797. Once again, 314-241-9797. If you have anything to add to that discussion. It is 12:32. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. Consistently right.
It's a ritual.
97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Say we've got nothing in common, no common ground to start from, and we're falling apart.
Well, you heard the phone numbers there, 314-241-9797. We're asking you to call in and talk to us about the YouTube poll. Everybody's like, when are we going to see arrests? When are we going to see handcuffs, man? We need to put these people in jail. That's how our side talks.
That's me.
I know. I'm glad you recognized it. That makes me feel proud of
That
myself.
was a decent impersonation. I felt like it was a little bit.
Yeah, where's my sugar, man? I need some candy.
Man, you're dumbing me down a little bit, but that is me.
You know.
No, I don't know.
Never mind. We should get to Paul here. 314-241-9797. Give us a call and join us. Paul, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Do you think we will see people go to jail because of the deep state investigations, and do you want to see that happen?
Yes, I hope to see it happen, but if it doesn't, I truly feel like it'll happen again to a worser degree.
Yeah, you kind of need to see some public repercussions to push back on people thinking they can get away with it again, right?
Yeah, it's like telling a kid they can't do something or you're going to get in trouble, and then nothing ever happens. So what do?
What if it doesn't happen? Are you going to be well, that sucks, or are you going to be angry about it?
Oh, I'd be super angry about it.
Who do you think is going to go? If someone goes to jail, who do you expect it to be?
I honestly don't know. I imagine there was a lot of hands in the pot, and I think everyone that they can prove did something, illegal.
Yeah,
needs to go. We're dealing with people that have reprobate minds, meaning they've done wrong for so long they don't think it's it's amazing. They don't think it's wrong.
Yeah. Paul, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. I do think that the standards that D.C. operates, people say this quite a bit. You go in, you're brand new, you're newly elected, you're fresh, you have ideas, you're for the people, and you're like, I'm here, I'm going to change Washington, and then Washington changes you. And that is the most common outcome of people who find their way into Washington, D.C. and federal politics, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. But there are some people who really fight through, and they're still good. And we don't ever acknowledge those people.
Yeah, that's also true. You don't usually know their name. Angela, thank you for calling the show. What do you think about the deep state investigations? Is somebody going to go to jail, and do you need them to?
I hope they do for the ones that they find guilty.
Yeah. And are you looking for somebody specific? Do you think that there's someone who deserves it more than others?
Obama, if he did that, Obama should go to jail, first of all. And if they can prove that was done, then he should go to jail. And Clinton, whether she was Biden wrote her off and gave her a free pass, if that happened, they should somehow be able to go back and charge her over in Gaza. And I also think that I live in Illinois with you, and we never seem to. I would like for our president to make it out to places I know where Chicago gets most of our votes, but I'll be happy when he gets to Chicago and makes it where we can take our kids up there on a train again. I live in Southern Illinois, and I would love for him to come here and straighten things out.
Angela, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate that. Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, yeah.
Chicago is such a great city.
Can be.
It is. It's a great city. It's got bad people running it. There's a ton to be offered. Chicago should be talked about in the same context as Los Angeles and New York City as the affordable place to have those experiences. You're in the Midwest. You don't have a coastal front. You also don't have hurricanes and earthquakes, on the coast for a lot of people who live on the coast, maybe a little bit southern of New York City, but they certainly have had them there as well. But Chicago should be a beacon for business, for people wanting to come here. And a lot of people live in Indiana and Wisconsin and dip their toe into the Chicago business. Why I do everything backwards. we live in the state of Illinois. We dip our toe into the red state of Missouri in St. Louis, in Blue City, St. Louis.
Yeah.
We need to reverse that. All right, Lou, thank you for calling the Annie Fry Show. Your thoughts on whether or not the DOJ investigations into the deep state will result in prominent figures going to jail. What do you think, Lou?
Well, the whole world is watching, and if these people are not locked up, our society as a whole, as a democracy, is going to be one huge failure. I mean, that's why they're slowly releasing all these classified documents showing the proof that they have against all these people. I mean, it's clear cut. These people are guilty. They need to be locked up, and not just a slap on the wrist either. I mean, we have to send a clear message. All 51 of those intelligence officers, of course, Clapper, Comey, Obama, all of them, they all need to be completely locked up for this, and not just for long periods of time. This is treason what they've done to our country, and these other countries are going to look at us like, man, we're a big joke. We already know that we have corrupt judges everywhere, and if we don't fix this now, our country will never be fixed, and you'll be able to buy your way out almost out of anything right now. It's just crazy.
Lou, do you think that President Trump is doing a good job? You think his Department of Justice is doing a good job to get to the bottom of this?
Well, I think that they might be sandbagging a little bit, and they're going to wait till next year for the midterms because people, people want results, and we're sick and tired of this. We've been hearing this for almost 10 years now, and we want action, we want results. We know these people are guilty. How can you not say otherwise?
Lou, if there weren't arrests made, if there weren't people going to jail that you think specifically are guilty of your word treason, although I would probably agree with that. Are you going to not support the Republican Party or the next America First candidate if it doesn't happen?
Well, I mean, you already have rhinos that are still there that he's dealing with still currently. But I think that they're going to methodically go after this next year during the midterm. So it really is going to be one great big buildup into this. Hopefully, that's what they do. If they don't do this, I'm telling you, it's going to be detrimental to Trump and the whole people for midterms if they're not locking these people up.
Thank you, Lou, for the phone call. I appreciate it. Do you think that this is better suited for midterms?
It might be. I don't know.
It goes both ways, though.
Yeah, it does.
If it looks like revenge and retribution and people aren't buying into it or they're like, why are you doing this now? I personally would actually rather see it happen after the midterms.
I was talking to Brad before the show about the midterms. For Republicans to hang on, they've got to have Trump voters show up, which a lot of times in midterms, I'm not confident that they will. So if you can use that to drive Trump voters to vote for other Republicans, it could end up in your favor.
Rick, thanks for calling the Annie Fry Show. What do you think about the poll question today? Do you want to see the DOJ investigations, or do you think that they're going to actually lead to jail time?
I really plead with you and all fellow conservatives to try to change the narrative a little bit. Yes, it'd be nice to see these guys held accountable. Yes, it'd be nice if certain members ended up in court. But I really think from a conservative point of view, the best way to go is to attack the funding of these agencies, like the FBI or the CIA. They have hurt the credibility of themselves. And as taxpayers, how can we trust these agencies? They have made mistake after mistake after mistake for political purposes. And I think the greatest impact, I heard other callers say, we don't want this to happen again. I think the best way to ensure to not have it happen again is to go after the funding of these agencies.
Rick, you're saying follow the money. That's always a good plan.
Well, not only follow the money, but also get their attention, reduce, pull back. I mean, do you realize we spend $101 billion on all our intelligence agencies? We're not getting our money's worth. Our intelligence agencies actively interfered with presidential elections. They have committed the cardinal sin against the American people. Those agencies should pay for it, and the way to pay for it is to pull back their funding. Let's take $30-40 billion out of their funding. That will impact everybody that works there to get the message you can't be part of what the FBI did. They raided Donald Trump's home. Well, I guess you could find the guy that was behind that. You could try and prosecute him, put that 1, 2, or 3 guys in jail. I got a better idea. let's say, look, that's not what we want out of our FBI, and we're pulling our funding back. And
Rick,
if
I
somebody
agree
says-
with you that there is too much money being spent, and across the board, whether it be these agencies or others, there needs to be less money spent. But wouldn't you also agree that now the FBI is run by Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and Bailey now? Wouldn't you agree that now is the time really to lean into those organizations because they're the ones doing the investigations on these guys?
Correct. But wouldn't you also agree that the deep state is still within those agencies? You're talking about thousands, if not tens of thousands of employees. And if you want to get their attention, cut their pay. You've got a couple of new leaders. Yes, there'll be new elections. There'll be new presidents. I say attack their funding, cut their pay. I can't imagine what the budget is with the FBI. Cut their funding, have employees fired. And then if somebody turns to you and says, hey, that could affect the future security of the United States, you say, yeah, you're right. And whose fault is that?
Well, I agree with your premise overall. I just think that when we're talking about prosecuting individuals, we actually need to use those organizations. Now, they're bloated. Don't get me wrong. Like, what you're saying is true, but those are also the people that are going to be prosecuting the people we're talking about. So I don't know that right now that's the argument to be made.
Thank you for your call, Rick. And I do agree with him that this can't just be about getting these one people. It has to be, you have to go to the roots of the system and weed it all out. So I do appreciate that call, Rick. Thanks for being with us. Tim, one last call here before we go to a break. What do you think about these DOJ investigations? Are they going to lead to people in the deep state going to jail? Tim, are you there?
Yeah, right here. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I do think you're going to have people go to jail. I don't think they're going to attempt to try these in Washington, D.C. and indict them in a civil court. This is going to go much higher because I believe it is treason. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I don't think they're going to roll the dice in Washington, D.C. and indict them there and try them there.
Yeah,
it
really wouldn't be worth the taxpayer dollar to do it in D.C. But if there's a change of venue or something that can be applied to this, it makes a huge difference. If you're saying you think it's treason, and nobody ends up going to jail, we don't get to see the perp walk, we don't get to see people, sentenced to that type of confinement. What kind of disappointment level will you have?
Oh, as long as they're convicted, I just hear about it, that they were found guilty in Guantanamo and they just got a new hotel room in Club Gitmo. I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, that's it, huh?
That's it. Tim, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. Well, there's that.
All right.
People say the word treason. That's not a word to throw around lightly. But if they are running a shadow government that was picking and choosing winners with the American people, just, let them have their day, their weeks of election and do their thing. But we're still going to work to ensure that our candidate, what was the phrase? He won't win. We won't let him. Peter Strzok, in his text message to Lisa Page, who said, essentially, what are we going to do? He can't win. And then Peter Strzok says he won't because they won't let him.
That's also where the phrase from him, no, they're there. Everybody says it now. That he came up with that. And what he was saying was, there's nothing there. It just autocorrected to there, and it became a phrase. But what he was talking about is there's no actual evidence of any of this with Russia.
People have been saying there's no there for longer.
No,
than
that
this.
was Peter Strzok.
I know that he said that, but I think that phrase predates that instance.
Well, that's when people started really using it, was after 2020.
I don't know how to prove you wrong or prove me right, but I don't think that's where that came from. All right, I'm going to say the B.
Or?
To your story. No, to your story. It's
Okay.
not real. But the B or not the B is next in Wiggins America. Our fake news and real news headlines. We get to pick which one we think it is, and then Ryan tells us if we're right or wrong, which is his favorite thing to do. Let's take a quick break. Wiggins America, next.
Mark Cox here. Join us live Thursday, September 11th at Chicken Ellie's in Eureka as we support Focus Marines Foundation. They're helping post 9/11 veterans transition to civilian life. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
That baby's gone! Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals. That ball was mashed. And there are more ways to watch this season. Holy cow! Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts. How about that play? or watch through a TV provider. Incredible! Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it!
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game! It couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews, and Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property through eco-friendly forestry mulching. Missouri Brush Control can transform your overgrown acreage into accessible and usable land, and in a fraction of the time compared to conventional methods. Missouri Brush Control also cleans up around ponds, lakes, and dams, allowing easy access to your water feature. They service residential, commercial, and recreational properties with their specialized machines and years of expertise. Enjoy your land like you've always dreamed of. Visit MissouriBrushControl.com. That's MissouriBrushControl.com.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Mark Cox here for the Range St. Louis West. Right now, they're giving away a free basic handgun skills class. All you have to do is register for your chance to win. TheRangeSTL.com/971. I've taken this class. It's ideal for beginners. They have expert instruction. It's available in a women's only class if that's what you're interested in. The normal cost is $135. You can win the class right now at TheRangeSTL.com/971.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins.
The Bee or not the Bee.
Got a series of stories here. Some of them are real, some of them are not. The ones that are not are from the Babylon Bee and are satire. The other ones are real. Tell me which is which. Here's the first one. Stacey Abrams theorizes Trump is Grand Ayatollah who will use mystical powers to anoint prophets to remain in power forever.
Real.
Yeah, this is real.
You're right. This is real. This is real.
Sometimes I'll just let y'all in on a little secret here. And the way I prepare for this show, the amount of headlines that I read, everyone's like, don't just read the headlines. Well, sometimes I read headlines, I'm like, not today, Satan. And I just keep going. And that is one of them.
You saw it?
Yeah, on a legit thing. And I told myself, I don't need to know. So I am kind of glad you're telling us a story because now I do get to know a little bit, but it's not because I clicked on it.
Yes, this is my fault. And now you're going to know because Stacey Abrams.
Mystical powers.
If you don't believe it, here's the audio when she was on a podcast.
If it is true that he's a Grand Ayatollah, that mystical power extends and can be, he can anoint his prophets.
So she went on in that podcast right after that to talk about how the election was false and her election was false and lots of elections were false when she doesn't like the outcome. But you can't do that, I'm told. But you can.
They've become what they hate.
It's incredible.
And they hate what they've become. Democrats 2026.
Next one.
So sad.
Democrats demand common sense prayer control.
I mean, I'm not prepared for a B article on this, but the B.
Is it the B?
It is the B. Other Democrats were quick to concur, citing numerous instances in which civilian prayer led directly to violence directed against churches and schools. Quote, "No private citizen should need that much prayer," said Chuck Schumer, a Democrat and Senate Minority Leader. "We're being perfectly reasonable in calling for restricted access to prayer and additional requirements for anyone who wants to engage in prayer. What is there to discuss?" Next one.
Gosh, you know what? I want them to stop saying these things because I think they're so patently offensive to people of faith, but specifically those who are mourning their children who are lost in a Catholic worship service. But the more they talk, the more obviously vapid and hateful and appalling the far left is. I just think to myself, maybe for the benefit of the future of this country, you've got a lot of people coming out of the woodwork to defend prayer, and there are people who probably haven't prayed a whole lot. So the Lord works in mysterious ways.
And on these issues, maybe the veil's coming back over people that they believe this the whole time, and now they're saying it. They're just emboldened to say it. And you're like, oh, well, at least I can see where you're coming from now. Next one, Burning Man's orgy dome destroyed by act of God.
Real.
B.
It's real. This is real. The article reads this way. As predestined from the foundations of the world, the Burning Man Festival's tent of unfettered
What's the
debauchery.
article? What's the...
Not the B.
No, what's the publication?
Not the B.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's also a nottheb.com. So that I forgot that we
Correct.
can look at that. They actually wrote this?
They wrote this. A tent of unfettered debauchery was blown away in a dust storm. What goes on in the dome, you might ask? Unrestrained behavior, evil desires, drunkenness, orgies, carousing, and lawless idolatry. Oops, I accidentally quoted 1 Peter 4:3.
Not the B.
Not the B.
Do you know much about Burning Man?
Well, I just know the festival, and I know it's crazy out in the desert.
So the answer is no. You don't know a lot about
Not a
Burning
lot,
Man.
I guess, no.
You never been?
Have you? You acted like I had, so I'm like, is this common? Has everybody been to Burning Man but me?
No, I'm very intrigued by things that look so, just from the outside looking in. From like super, I don't know, naive, prude, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I'll take those adjectives. From my little world view here in the middle of the country, I'm like, it just looks like so much Satan worship. It's not really like a hidden thing.
Now, let me be clear. You can go to Burning Man and not go in the orgy dome, but you do have to do drugs.
Especially not now, because it's not there anymore.
Right.
No more orgy dome. But I just think it looks like such a big, bold, pagan, which, you know, there are people listening right now. I know some of them, they might comment right now, who listen who, like, are occult subscribers or pagan, they have a pagan lifestyle. That this thing does exist in our everyday world. And if you don't know a whole lot about it, it looks, to use a word from earlier in the segment, mystical. But when you're not exposed to it and you see the stuff from the outside looking in, it's like,
I know.
I feel like it should be more secretive, but it isn't.
Let's just go out in the desert and just be with each other.
Physically. But not in the dome.
Not in the dome this year. It's going to happen outside.
You got one more?
Trump vows to nationalize as many private companies as it takes to defeat socialism.
Oh.
It is the B. At publishing time, Trump announced the federal government would also be taking control of the airlines and railroads in an effort to promote the free market and halt the spread of communism in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Little shot there.
Mm-hmm. Kind of get it.
Yep.
Wait to see what happens. All right, we'll find out what I missed, and we have next question coming up next hour. What do you want to know about us? Comment in the YouTube. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
6 iconic names, 2 bobbleheads, 1 unforgettable night. Join us Friday, September 5th as the Cardinals face off with the Giants and celebrate the 1985 National League Championship. That night, 20,000 fans 16 and older will take home one of 2 1985 triple bobbleheads, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Deerbirds. Whether it's the legendary Coleman, McGee, and Smith, or the iconic Tudor, Cox, and Andujar. You won't want to miss your chance to get this unique triple bobblehead. Tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions.
Head to the stadium on Saturday, September 6th when the Birds host the Giants. 20,000 fans, 16 and older, will score a limited edition Hall of Fame baseball card shirt thanks to Edward Jones. This all-over print shirt features McGee, Forsch, Tudor, Coleman, the Wizard, Whitey, and Herb. It's a giveaway you won't want to miss. That's Saturday, September 6th. Get tickets today at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Willie McGee, St. Louis Cardinals for the Loop.
Stewart's American Mortgage. He's got a bagel loan waiting for you with your name on it. What's a bagel loan, Annie? Okay, well, it's a mortgage. And a mortgage, when you go through the process, you're trying to buy a house, and there's a billion things that you're thinking about. Obviously, you want to know what your budget is, so you're going to get pre-approved. You can do that with Stewie. Once you get that pre-approval with Stewie, you can go onto his website. You can generate your own pre-approval letters. So if you're pre-approved for X, but you only want to put this on the offer sheet, whatever it is, you can get all of that stuff generated on your own. You don't have to wait for a middleman. When you are getting to the place where you have to close, that's when you got to write that fat check for all those closing costs. Boo, hiss, don't like that. Well, then you get a bagel loan with Stewie. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Stewie's going to help you get a bagel loan that comes with zero closing costs. And you can call him or text him to tell him that you're interested for both new purchases and refinances, even cash out refinances. 314-324-4440. NMLS number 226715.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with news for listeners who, like me, want to learn more about Bitcoin. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club is coming to St. Louis later this summer. The Bitcoin Ben Crypto Clubs teach members what Bitcoin is, how to buy it, how to safely store it, and how to avoid scams. And we'll connect with others like us who want to learn more about crypto. St. Louis will be the 7th club nationwide and Ben's hometown. If you want to know more about Bitcoin, you need to know Bitcoin Ben. Learn more at bitcoinben.io. That's bitcoinben.io.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A Fed-related fight is in limbo. Lisa Brady, Fox News. No decision yet from a federal judge after a hearing on Lisa Cook's lawsuit over President Trump saying she's fired as a Federal Reserve governor. Cook's attorney, Abby Lowell, telling the judge allegations of mortgage fraud are not adequate cause for firing. A Justice Department attorney says they are.
And he actually took it a step further and pointed out that Lisa Cook has not responded to the allegations about whether she made misstatements on mortgage documents. And he says if those misstatements are in fact true and she has not disputed them, no matter what she says, no matter how she tries to explain them away, it would give the president cause.
Fox Business's Lydia Hu at federal court in D.C. Cook wants the judge to let her keep the job while the legal fight continues. Just getting word that school boards in 2 Northern Virginia counties are now suing the U.S. Education Department, trying to block funding cuts after districts rejected calls to change policies over bathroom access for transgender students. Fairfax and Arlington counties are seeking a preliminary injunction blocking any funding withdrawal as that legal fight plays out. A bill creating a new congressional map is signed in Texas. Fox's Jeff Manasso.
At the Texas State Capitol in Austin, Governor Greg Abbott signing into law what he calls the One Big Beautiful Map that officially makes Texas more red.
That ensures fairer representation in the United States Congress for Texans.
Redistricting in which Republicans could gain up to 5 additional seats in the U.S. House, including that of outspoken Democrat Jasmine Crockett. Texas state Democrats fought the efforts, including fleeing the state earlier this month to shut down the government, only to return under pressure.
And Texas Democrats plan to continue their fight in court, and their special session walkout did inspire a counter-redistricting effort to help Democrats in California. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-895-1414. That's 800-895-1414. 800-895-1414.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The fantastic August weather continues as we get set for the long holiday weekend. Sunshine this afternoon, comfortable humidity at 85 should do it for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, great evening, 63 for the low. Saturday, sunny and 84. Sunday, sunny and 81. And Monday, sunny, 81 once again. No complaints. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If you need a new air conditioner installed this summer, call a company you can trust to install your AC properly. That will get your home cool and comfortable fast. For a free estimate on a new air conditioner, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Happy Friday. We are watching the results come in right now on our YouTube poll. Will DOJ investigations into the Trump-hating deep state result in prominent figures going to jail? Come to the Annie Fry Show YouTube channel and vote in the live broadcast there. You say, yes, we will, because you think Brennan's going to jail.
Well, I think it could be more than Brennan, but I would put my money on Brennan first. Yeah.
But you're saying that you're saying yes. I don't think anyone's going to go to jail. I think this is not going to be welcome news for people. But I also feel like I want to tell you folks that it's probably not going to happen. You're not going to see what you want to have happen. So I'm just trying to measure expectations. Now, I will admit that it is a character flaw of mine that I always look at the most negative outcome and get real cozy with it so that I was either right or I have good news.
It's not a bad approach, though.
It's
keeps you.
I was going to say,
level.
It's not really fun, but it works out for you no matter what. But I feel strongly that the emphasis on jail being such a specific necessity in justice being served here, that people have poured a lot of their heart and soul into wanting that to happen. And I think that people are being set up for a huge letdown.
Let me ask you this. Would house arrest, like a Paul Manafort situation, count as jail? Because I'm counting that. Is that a no?
I don't think house arrest is jail.
Because I'm saying they'll go through that whole process.
Sounds like you're actually saying
punished.
the answer to the question is no.
I mean, if it's are you behind literal bars?
Brad, is jail the same as house arrest?
No, it's not the same.
I know that I wouldn't feel like it was the same if I had the option.
People plea bargain for house arrest as opposed to jail. So I wouldn't say no. No.
Ender says nope, behind actual bars. That's why I specifically said jail in the question.
Jail.
Yeah.
What if they put bars on your windows in your house? I would count that.
I don't doubt that you would.
I'm looking for a win here, guys.
Like, as per usual. No, it's jail's jail, man. If you're freaking Barack Obama and you're on house arrest, can we? You know what? The only house arrest that I would consider to be jail is like if we get to pick the house that you have to be arrested in.
Mm-hmm. And it's right by here.
Which of your mansions, President Obama, are you gonna just stay in for a long time?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that counts at all. Do you think that jail bars on the windows in the clink, so to speak?
Now you use my language.
I've seen a few things.
If somebody gets a shiv in the side, I would say, I'm a yes in this poll.
What? That doesn't make sense.
That's all right for your interpretation.
No, it's not.
I just wanted to use the word
I
shiv.
refuse to interpret.
You know that.
Yes, but I wish you would have used it contextually.
Correct.
Does it change your answer? Do you still think someone's going to
It actually does change.
jail?
I would love to be able to stick with this and be like, yeah, I'm going to ride this to the end. But I genuinely think that you will see people convicted because I like Brad, if they're all in Washington, D.C., then it's going to be tough. But I think they're going to try to get these cases outside of Washington.
They'd have to.
They have to. So if they do, and they go through the process, I think that you will get some guilty convictions here. Will they end up in a penitentiary? No. They will end up punished somehow. So I guess if it's to the letter of the poll, then I'm a no. But I do think that you're going to get convictions and punishment.
So much hedging.
It's a question that has a yes or no answer, and per YouTube, it has to be under 100 characters.
Look, the easy thing for me to do would just be like riding and be like, yeah, they're going to go to jail.
Only if you
But
were wrong. That's why you're hedging.
I have a specific end in mind, and I think that that's what that's going to look like.
You're just saying words.
No, I'm not.
Ryan's changed his answer to no because he's wishy-washy. Let's get to what I missed.
What did I miss?
This first clip that I've got for you, Annie, is from yesterday, actually. It's RFK Jr., and he's talking about nutrition advice from your doctors.
Out of the 300,000 children, I looked at the
wrong one?
numbers
This
just
is the wrong one.
yesterday.
Okay. Oh, is it 13? It's a different.
Thir-
You have it in a different file?
It's all the way at the bottom of the sheet.
Hey, Ryan, I messed up. You want to talk about it?
You messed up publicly, and it's on record, and I think that we should dwell on it.
Well, I need you to
Let's
dwell
just
for
sit
about
here.
another 60 seconds and fill time. You can say whatever you want. Roast me.
Kyle, do you mind pulling that clip so that I can play it on my weekend show over and over in every segment? Because that's what's going to happen. Is that 60 seconds?
No, you got to be better at this. Keep going.
Kyle?
You just can't repeat yourself.
He's a
I
thumbs up.
For somebody who was just given carte blanche the opportunity to just destroy me while I did the work to cover up for my mistake, you really blew a big opportunity there.
You're not going to turn your failure into my
Quiet,
failure.
RFK
You know,
Jr.
one of the things that we were going to talk about on this show is our newest initiative to try to get the medical schools to start teaching nutrition. Right now, only about 15% of doctors say that they feel competent to give nutrition advice. 7 out of 10 Americans die from diet-related diseases. So, and you know, you can reverse up to 50% of diabetes cases just by changing the diet. And yet we have a medical community that is writing prescriptions largely and doesn't even feel competent. So we've gone to the medical schools, we've gone to the MCAT testing companies, and we've gone to the accreditors and said we want to see real nutrition classes taught at every medical school in this country. Typically, even medical schools that say that they have nutrition classes or opportunities only give you about 2.5 hours during your entire medical school.
Wow.
And we want our physicians to be able to give dietary advice and nutrition advice to their patients and not just rely on the pharmaceutical paradigm.
So I this clip caught my attention. I was driving into work. I was listening to it on the radio, or well, not on the radio, but on Fox and Friends over the radio. And I have had this experience with my personal physician, it was my first appointment with my new doctor because my old doctor retired. And I was like, hey, look, I'm looking for some nutritional advice, diet advice. What should I be eating? What should I be focusing on to drop a few pounds, feel a little bit better, that sort of thing. And he looked at me and he just looked real ashamed to say this. He goes, I hate to tell you this, but they didn't teach us anything about that in medical school. And like RFK there is saying, only 15% of doctors had any
Your doctor
training.
said to you, I don't have nutrition advice for you because they didn't teach it to us in medical school?
Train. Yeah, and he's a new physician. He's like fresh out of medical school. And he goes, that is something that I am now going to have to look into and start doing on his own. And like when RFK said that, when Bobby Kennedy said that, I was like, thank you. I would think that would be what the foundation of our medical school would be on. It's like, how do you eat right? Because the doctors are always telling you to eat right. But it's like, well, what does that look like? And then they don't know. They don't feel comfortable
Especially
sharing
if you're
that.
a specialist.
Yeah.
You would deal with different dietary restrictions in different ways.
If what he said there is accurate, even the ones that have had training, what do you go, 8 years to be a doctor? 2 hours of 8 years on nutrition? That's ridiculous.
Isn't it? Is it 8 years after a general?
Yeah. I mean, I never went into medical school, so I don't know how long. I just know it's a really long time, and 2 hours in the scope of that is not long at all.
I like the approach. I don't really
Yeah.
care about the policy change so much as I like the approach, because what he's doing here overall is he's saying, instead of us just focusing on medicine for everything, let's focus on different ways that you can solve issues than just pharmaceuticals. I like that.
The second cut that I have for you, Annie, is cut 20, and it's Donald Trump talking about Gavin Newsom at the cabinet meeting. the other day.
You have an incompetent governor there. You have an incompetent governor in California, Gavin. I know him very well. He's incompetent. He's a nice guy, looks good. Hi, everybody. How you doing? He's got some strange hand action going. I don't know what the hell his problem is. It's a little weird, to be honest. There's a little something shaky going on there. But, you know, all he has to do is call me and say, we have the Olympics coming up. We want to make it really good and safe. And
So the reason I pulled this, I mean, it's funny to listen to and him making fun of it. We all know like the hand motions that Gavin Newsom makes when he talks, and that really kind of came to the forefront during the fires whenever he was doing the press conferences for the fires. But the brilliant thing there is, and this is why I think Donald Trump is one of the greatest, I don't know what trash talkers you would say. He said that out loud, and Gavin Newsom is aware that he does that. And now every time Gavin Newsom's talking, he's going to have to think about his hand motions. Every time. This is brilliant because it's going to jack with him. I am dying to watch Gavin Newsom do his hand motions now and see if he's trying to do them less weird or, not do them at all. And if he's thinking about that, he's not thinking about what he's saying, and he's going to take Gavin Newsom off of his game when it comes to his messaging. And that messaging, being a good messenger, is Gavin Newsom's strong suit.
You know what we don't talk about enough is a couple weeks ago when Gavin Newsom said, and I think it was during the riots, probably more like a month or two ago, when he said, well, I tried calling the president. He wouldn't even take my call. And President Trump shows his phone to the press and goes, that guy did not call me today. I can show you. So it was just a lie. Stupid lie, too.
Oh, man. So brilliant trash talker. Get Gavin off his game. Set him on his back foot. Make him think about something that other than what he is supposed to be doing, which I know is difficult because whenever
Scooter says Newsom gets under Trump's skin. I don't think so at all. I think that Donald Trump finds weak people's main weakness and has no shame in exploiting it. And Newsom's weakness is obviously his vanity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If he got under his skin,
This is and this is well, go ahead, sorry.
he would be tweeting about Gavin Newsom a lot more.
Yeah, there are people who do get under his skin. Newsom and Pritzker are such easy foils for Donald Trump. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. There's plentiful resources going back to them. And the way that I know that Donald Trump is smart to do this is how much the people who are like religiously progressively left. Like there is a soul connection to their Democratic Party affiliation. The advocacy for how much Gavin Newsom is what's the alternative to owning the libs?
Being owned by the libs?
No. The suggesting that somehow or another Newsom lives rent-free in Trump's head. Pritzker literally said, I live rent-free in Trump's head. The more they talk about it, and the more the vocal, the chatterboxes, the idle hands of the progressive left, the more they talk about how much they think that Donald Trump is bothered by them, the more I realize why Trump will do it again and again and again and again. Such a distraction. He creates the talking points for the left, and those talking points are loser talking points every bit of the time. It's genius.
I think I'm realizing something as you're saying that. Pritzker and Newsom are heads and tails. They look very different depending on which side of the coin you're holding up, but they are the same coin.
Well, certainly.
They're the exact same thing, but they look very different doing it.
Nothing about either of them resonates with the American individual, the American people. They might be worthy representatives of far left policies, but people, someone would say like, "Oh, and Donald Trump represents you. You can identify with Donald Trump." Yes, I can, because that man speaks his mind. Unabashedly speaks his mind, and he's willing to stand up and say the thing that nobody else would say because everybody else was coddled in fear and couching all of their words and their phrases to make sure it fit into all of the system of rules that the losers like Pritzker and Newsom set up. How else you could just point to the scoreboard, which is my favorite thing to do. Point to the scoreboard for both Newsom and Pritzker to say you're hemorrhaging people from your state who are fleeing from you. Like, you're the problem. You're the issue there. The consistency between those two people, you're the problem. Why wouldn't Trump throw that out, lob that out every time he gets? He's making fun of them because he's won so much. He's accomplished so much in the midst of so much that he is entitled to have fun destroying the Pritzker and Newsom contingent politically in this country. Own every minute of it. They are asking for it. They are begging for it. All they want is attention because clearly they don't care about their people because their people are leaving. And while they're leaving, both of those governors are saying, don't let the door hit you on the way out. We're tripling, quadrupling down on our ridiculous policies that caused you to leave. And then they mock you in the process of it. So Donald Trump, it is laughable to me in a really popcorn eating, enjoyable way to think about people going, gosh, Newsom's really getting into Trump's head now. Okay. I'm going to pat you right here on that. You guys are doing so good. Oh, you guys are going to be okay. America's going to be great anyway. It'll be fine.
If you're watching the live stream, you just got patted by Annie.
On the head.
On the head.
Some of you, not all of you. You want to do the next one?
Yeah, let's do the next one. The next one is Marco Rubio. This is at the same cabinet meeting. And
this thing about people getting married on Saturdays during college football season is a scourge, Mr. President. It's divided families. I don't know if we can have an executive order on this. It's insane, but it's really difficult. There's 7 other months of the year that people can get married, so I just wanted to say that because it's very, very difficult. Thank you.
I'm going to put this up here on the screen. I'm just going to pause it here, but I love Donald Trump's genuinely amused face when he knows that something is good. And funny, that's the face right there. I gotta look.
Who's getting married? Who's he talking about?
Everybody.
Everybody's getting married.
I'm looking at you, Greg. My friend Greg is getting married next weekend. I have a
Marco Rubio was talking to your friend Greg?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's getting married to a lovely lady. Not this weekend, but the next. I actually am super excited about going to this wedding. I do have a volleyball tournament. I have to figure out how I'm going to make that work. But this is to say that Annie Fry married Jared Fry on September 15th, 2007, which was the Michigan-Notre Dame football game. Whoops. Michigan won 38-0. So I was like, I did you a favor, buddy. Like a big favor. You didn't have to watch that butt kicking. Michigan-Notre Dame's a pretty big deal.
Don't let him forget it.
I really try to make him forget that we did that. So he's working right now. He's not listening. Yes. Yeah, we got married in September. I am an offender. We all are. No, wait. When did you get married? May?
May.
I was born in September, so I kind of got in the way of somebody's wedding.
Yeah. I could be on your.
Not my parents.
I could be on your tombstone.
They were married.
September 13th, 16th?
16th.
16th?
It's coming up.
So is my anniversary. What are you getting me?
Nothing. I'm getting you kudos. The candy bar.
From 1997. Kudos. Those are good candy bars.
Those were good. They got smaller and smaller, though. They were the first shrinkflation I remember.
Maybe you were getting bigger and bigger. Eating all those kudos.
Both were happening.
We'll be right back.
And she screams, and her voice is strange. She says, baby, it's 3 a.m., I must be lonely. She says,
The Retirement Advisory Group online at retirementkey.com. You've got good people on the other end of this phone call. 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. When you connect with Bob and Tammy Kershaw, Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, here's what they're going to do. You're going to have a conversation. It's free to sit down and have this discussion. It doesn't cost you anything. They're going to talk to you about your nest egg. They're going to talk to you about the worries, the anxieties that you might have. They're going to talk to you about the dreams that you might have, what retirement looks like to you. Are you looking to retire now, yesterday, not anytime in the near future because you love what you do, but you just want to know where you are? All of these things, they all fit into the Retirement Advisory Group's guidance. So you have that initial phone call. They tell you how they can help you create a personalized income, structured income plan that's catered to you. And it's all at the other end of this phone call, 314-993-9494. Call them, sit down, have a talk, and then decide if you'd like to hire them to get the job done. You can find them online at retirementkey.com.
Hey guys, it's Mark Reardon. If you're struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain, Game Day Men's Health has got you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more in all of a relaxed man cave environment. At Game Day, you'll get a free testosterone test and consultation, all in just 1 hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Get back in the game with Game Day Men's Health.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meyer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
Smart talk, strong values. This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Get ready to go crazy right here.
Try to build a fire, I'll burn the woods. I ain't a mover or a shaker, can't keep up with the pacer. Never met a dance floor that ever did me any good. Oh, I can't change the world, no, I can't change a flag. You can give me your...
So we've talked about Southwest Airlines a little bit. We're avid Southwest flyers here on the Annie Fry Show. Pretty loyal customer.
Yeah, I've got tons of points.
Yeah. I don't think this affects you, but it might affect some people. This is a report from Fox 8. In a statement Monday, Southwest said it's updating some of its policies. Every time I see that, I hold my breath. As it prepares for assigned seating next year. Currently, plus-size passengers can either pay for an extra seat in advance with the option of getting that money back later, or they can request a free extra seat at the airport. Under the carrier's new policy, a refund is still possible, but no longer guaranteed. The article coming from the Associated Press says that Southwest Airlines will soon require travelers who can't fit within the armrests of their seat to pay for an extra one in advance, with no guarantee of refunding. Any thoughts on that?
This is an obvious move that needs to be made across all airlines.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't sit within the seat you bought, then you bought another seat. That's the only way to go about this. The problem is implementing it, because who's going to self-police and be like, yeah, That's probably especially if you're on the line.
Well, some people would.
Some people obviously would.
I think there are people who are, if they're overweight to that extent, would want the second seat and need, like, they're not going to be able to fly if they don't have it.
It also, you're affecting the person next to you. So if you're in the seat,
I don't think that that's mattered recently. I think that the important thing that we're supposed to realize is that the marginalized community of overweight passengers needs to be respected and addressed as such. And they are just one person, so they should be entitled to the space that they take up.
You said that very eloquently. What about the marginalized persons of the middle seat?
The most marginalized category of them all. You ever got stuck in a middle seat on a flight by yourself? I've never done. I've not had that problem.
Maybe. I don't think so. I know that my wife coming back from Great Britain once got stuck in the middle seat between two people that she did not know, and they both were man spreaders. And she was not happy.
Are you a man spreader?
If I have the space. If I don't, I'm conscious of it. It is more comfortable to sit that way.
There is a lot of discussion, mostly coming out of right-wing circles, about what it means for men to cross their legs.
Cross them at the ankle or cross them?
At the knee.
I got to sit down. Hang on a second. At the knee? I don't do this, so I have to.
Can you?
I'm trying to picture what this feels like.
I had this conversation. I saw it being discussed.
Okay. Okay. That's like really crossing your legs at the knee.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
no, I don't do that.
I don't think I can.
I think it's funny that you say, no, I don't do that, but you had to see if you could first.
I had to see.
I think it's evidentiary that you don't say
I
like
couldn't
that.
even remember what it was. Now, does this count when you just put your leg up like this?
No. That's ankle over the knee.
Ankle over knee. What about if it slides down a little bit?
I don't like all
About
this
halfway
looking
through.
at your lower half.
It's getting there, isn't it?
I think you should do that all the time.
No, you don't. You think I should do that for views? Here, look, I'll tilt the camera down.
Isn't that what you... No, don't do that. Don't. They're going to leave. What are you doing? That looks like you're trying to cross your legs like a lady and you can't.
I may sit like that once in a while.
This is the weirdest thing
so odd.
we've ever done on this radio show. And that is saying something. Does it mean anything to you for a man to full on cross their legs?
Yeah. And I don't know what it means, but when I see it, I notice it. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Are you impressed since you can't do it?
It's a very metrosexual thing to do. It's a very hipster look. So if you're dressed a certain way and you're a man and you cross your legs, it's like an image you're trying to portray. And you got the socks.
Like it's meaningful?
Yeah, the pants come up a little bit when the legs are crossed, and you can see some fashionable socks. That's all part of it.
Do you have a pair of fashionable socks?
I have a pair of...
Do you have a pair of matching socks?
I do. I have a pair of, and these would be fashionable because they're colorful. They are Hillary Clinton 2016 socks that somebody got me. I'm not sure I've ever worn them, but they sit there. Someday there's going to be an occasion. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's our next food drive or something. I don't know.
President Trump has said this. J.D. Vance has talked about it as well, but talking about leg crossing. And a lot of influencers who are often in right-wing circles say that it is not a masculine thing to do.
It's not a masculine thing to do. It's just not. And I can't even tell you why. It just isn't. It's not a natural way for a man to sit. It doesn't feel comfortable.
I don't think it's a natural way for anyone to sit, and I think that the reason that ladies do it is because they've worn dresses and stuff like that
It's
historically.
a natural way to sit for
If
women.
only we
Is
could
it?
ask a
Yes.
lady.
Trisha's
But-
off.
Mhm. Ethan's gone.
But like,
You don't get to
Oh,
fire
yes, I
shots
do.
at Ethan
Oh,
when
yeah.
he's on
Oh, yeah.
assignment
what's the utility of it? Why would you sit that way?
because it's comfortable.
Why would you cross your legs?
Yeah.
Is it comfortable for women to cross their legs?
Can't be.
It's not for men.
No.
Well, it's because you got stuff between your legs that women don't have.
Like what?
For you, I'm not sure. Let's take a break. No,
I know
it's time
for
to go to
sure.
break. Ask us anything. I know my very first question in the next segment, and it's targeted directly towards Ryan Wiggins. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss this. We'll be right back.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Dr. Nick Barnes at Health From Within Family Chiropractic in Rock Hill. At Health From Within, our mission is to transform the way you manage your health by bringing you the truth about health and healing. We use proven techniques to remove interference in the nervous system and maximize health naturally, without drugs or surgery. Connect with me at healthfromwithinstl.com and join me for Maximize Living on this station every Sunday at 8 a.m. or download the Maximize Living podcast, healthfromwithinstl.com.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Do you cross your legs? Annie has requested pictures in the live stream.
Knock it off, man. That is not what it is. No.
The YouTube live chat
Dump
poll
that, Brad.
is, will the DOJ, and it's an associated question with that topic,
Also not true.
will the DOJ investigations into the Trump-hating deep state result in any prominent figures going to jail? Yes or no? All of what I just said can be found at the live stream. YouTube live chat poll is there too. That's where you vote. We'll give you the results at the end of the show. 1:34. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
From Cottleville to Maryville, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
That whole conversation that we just had there started with talking about people on Southwest Airlines being overweight and having to buy 2 seats. Is it obvious that you should have to buy 2 seats? Should they even be should a person who has to pay for 2 seats on a non-full flight, or should a person who needs to use 2 seats on a non-full flight have to pay for 2?
Say it again? I'm sorry.
Non-full flight. They are going to be empty seats.
Oh, no, I don't. But it's good. It's hard to police, so I'm not sure how you'd figure that out. But no.
What do you mean? Somebody buys 2 seats.
Well, but when you buy the seat, you don't know whether the flight's full or not. And they're saying when you buy the seat, you have to buy 2.
Yeah, you would have to. It's always been the case that you get 2 seats and you are refunded for the second one you have to use. Now the policy is you're not guaranteed at all to be refunded. So you're getting 2 seats for yourself because you take up at least more than 1 seat. If the flight has, when we came home from Orlando this summer with my son, it was more than half empty. I hadn't been on a flight like that. They actually said on the air, or over the speaker, that we needed to spread out to make sure we dispersed the weight on the plane appropriately.
Oh, I've only been on one like that.
And it was a late flight home, and I had never done that before. But if it's a super empty, or if there are 10 empty seats, should that person have to still pay for their second seat that they're using?
No. If there's a bunch of empty seats, I don't think it's a problem. I think there should be a code for when you buy the extra seat, though. Like,
why you're buying it?
Why you're
I
buying
think there
it.
is, because you have to attach a passenger
You put in
to every
okay,
seat.
my
so
name
I
is Brian Johnson, and this is my muffin top seat.
Next question. It's a legitimate question.
Next question.
Next question, please.
Next question on the Annie Fry Show.
Let's start with Brad today.
Ooh, my first question. All right, what type of car makes you stereotype the driver? Is there a type of car out there you see it and you're going to stereotype that driver?
Probably all of them. I mean, I have a thought of what type of person. If you see a minivan, aren't you thinking of what type of person's driving that minivan?
Yeah, most cars do tell you something about the person.
Or at least it's a first blush impression that could be incredibly wrong. What about you, Brad?
If I see two cars in front of me and one of them is a brand new Prius and the other one is missing a bumper, I think I know which one the weed's coming from.
I don't.
was that kind of tough?
I feel like every car on the interstate right now is a smoke show of weed. Who are you stereotyping, Brad?
I'm stereotyping Prius drivers.
And why?
Okay. Well, it's usually one of two people. Usually. It's either the pepper-haired professor guy or girl with the glasses, or it's somebody with blue hair, but they're both usually liberals.
Can't disagree. And if you disagree, you should send us a picture of yourself crossing your legs in your Prius.
The Prius stereotype has been going on for a long time. I feel like it's not as much anymore as it used to be.
I would actually drive one just because of the gas mileage.
Yeah, I think initially that there was definitely a certain type of person who drove a Prius, but there's so many electric vehicles out there right now, and the system is much more adept at making that a functional thing. But don't tell me you're not stereotyping minivan drivers, or people who drive big trucks, or people who drive, like if you see like a Corvette or something speeding down the highway, it's every car. Like give me an example of a car that isn't stereotyped.
Toyota Corolla.
See? You just stereotype them as being super normal and boring.
Kind of true.
I was thinking like a Honda Civic, so
yeah,
it's the same thing.
Same idea.
It's just like a really economical car. It's going to last forever. You still have it because why wouldn't you? That's my understanding.
But if you get into a Honda Fit, which are those real small like hatchback ones,
I question judgment.
I would say like a Nissan Rogue. It's good,
just a car.
Good car. Yeah. Hey, all right.
Is that what you drive?
No. I don't.
Next question, Ryan.
Do you like puzzles?
Ryan, did you prepare?
Yes, I prepared. Some of mine are too deep.
No, they're not. Hit us.
Okay, fine. Is Trump going too far on something?
Anything?
Anything.
Do you have something you think he's going too far on?
I do.
What?
The Trump 2028 hat. In the White House. I think it's a step too far.
You're soft. You're so soft.
Fine. You like puzzles or not?
I love puzzles.
Great. Next question.
Well, you want me to answer the question that you asked?
As long as it's not a shot at me.
Ooh, next question. I'm trying to think if there's something I think he's gone too far on. I'm questioning, and it's only because I don't know anything about it. I'm not smart enough to understand this, but the American interest in things like Intel and everything.
That's on my list too.
Like I said, I don't know enough about it to intellectually argue it. So somebody could argue one side for me and then the other side, and they'd probably both sound compelling because I still haven't made up my mind on it.
The best argument I've heard, because I'm the same way, like, give me the info, is somebody saying we shouldn't have a interest in it in ownership, that we should be licensed, that would keep us from having any sort of ownership, but it would still give us the benefits that they're looking for.
My question is, or wait, Brad, what's yours answer to that? Sorry.
I don't really have anything. You guys brought up Intel, which I would agree with you guys. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on there, but that was one of the things that made me go, well, what are we doing here? And then whenever I think it was Kevin Hassett came out and said, yeah, we're looking at doing this with other companies, I'm like, I don't know if I like that. But like the 2028 hat and stuff like that, I look at that like this administration more than any administration I've seen in years is having a good time. And I just think that that's them having a good time, ribbing the libs, but I don't think that it's going too far.
What about the other one I have written down is not the actions, but the rhetoric against Canada.
I don't even pay mind to it.
Doesn't even move the needle.
Does not register for me. My question, what is your latest algorithm that you've fallen into that's kind of weird? I talked a little bit about this yesterday, but I have been watching videos of people in the CIA talking about how to make people tell you anything you want to know. So I think my algorithm right now, a lot of things that have to do with speaking, conversation, like relationship, communication, that type of stuff. I don't know why that found its way into my algorithm, but I have proven once again that YouTube is aware of what I'm interested in before I am. Either you guys?
Yeah, it's all tips and tricks on how to beat the original Mario Brothers.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Are you playing the original Mario Brothers?
No, but I will click on those videos for absolutely no reason.
So you're watching them and it's not
helping.
Okay.
I guess that would help me beat the Hammer guys in level 8 too. The most interesting thing I found that gamers are probably like, duh, is that there's a secret level in the original Mario Brothers game called -1 that I guess you can get to by doing this weird jump in the warp zone, and it's endless
Brad.
swimming.
Do you have an algorithm?
Yeah, it's old tractors. I don't know why YouTube started. Well, YouTube probably started feeding it to me because I looked for parts for my old tractor.
Yeah.
But then
That's
it's
pretty much exactly why you have that algorithm.
but it's sending it to me now, and I'm finding out that like not even specific to the kind that I have, but just any old tractor. Whenever they show like these quirky, cool little things that these old engineers designed on these tractors and the way they solved problems in like the 30s and the 40s when they were designing equipment, I've just found it fascinating, and I can't like wait for I finish every video.
Next question, Brad.
Does Barack Obama have any real influence with anything that moves the needle as far as elections go anymore?
Sure, in the Democrat Party. Who else? Who's more influential than he is?
Ooh, I don't know, because I don't know that there's anybody who's more influential than him, but I don't know that he has a ton of influence either. I don't know that anybody has any influence.
He has as much as anybody. He probably also commands an enormous amount of money. Which means
and
he has
respect.
influence.
I mean, he's the former president.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody that would
He's their last
be
great
more
hope.
so than him. But I also don't know that he's really driving that boat either.
Well, I think it's because he knows it's a sinking ship.
Yeah. That sinking ship may be coming for him too. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. That's a tough answer. That's a tough question.
Like if we narrowed it down to swing voters, would you think that he has any sway
No.
with them?
No. In the Democrat Party, 100%. But that's it. Which, again, I think that involves his ability to direct money, which can direct the party, and then they squander it.
I don't know. I think he might have some say with swing voters just because I think he's still got Obama cool attached to him for now.
See, I don't think he has Obama cool anymore.
Well, he's Ryan's idol, so it's not nice to talk about that. Ryan's always trying to mimic Obama's style.
I didn't even care that he was president. I was with him when he was a community organizer. I just thought he was a charming fellow.
Fellow. Next question, Ryan.
Best concert you've ever been to?
I think we've asked this one before, haven't we? Chris
Well, you were
Stapleton,
talking-
George.
Oh, no, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Chris Stapleton, George Strait.
Oh.
The Ohio Stadium, which is the only part about it that my husband didn't like. He had to wash off the Ohio State when we left. It's like, get over it. Anybody else? Or are we going to wrap?
I'm not much of a concert goer, but the best concert I've ever been to was here in St. Louis. I saw Lecrae at the Fox, and he's a Christian rapper, and he just did a great show, and it was just like a party, fun, happy atmosphere, and I loved it.
I've seen some great Christian shows. Christian concerts are underrated. They're very good.
I will say that if I had it tied for first, Need to Breathe at Stiefel was unreal.
Unbelievable. That's the one band in my entire time in Christian radio that I never saw or met.
I've seen them. I saw them again when they came to, I can't remember what the venue is. It's a smaller venue, but it's...
Pageant?
No, it's outside. I don't remember what it was, but they came the year after and they did songs from their new album, and it was fine. But their set at the Stiefel was just magical. The music is incredible, but they had all of these like Edison bulbs, like the orange Edison bulbs, like they were all hanging down, and the set was beautiful. It just was an absolute mood. I'd go back and watch that concert right now if I could.
Roger Waters doing The Wall at the Enterprise Center in mid-2000s. It was an amazing show.
All right, let's take a quick break. We might have some more questions on the other side of this. We've also got the YouTube live chat poll going right now. Will the DOJ investigations into the Trump-hating deep state result in any prominent figures going to jail, yes or no? You vote on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We will answer a few of your questions from the live chat when we come back. Don't go away. HomeShieldFoundationRepairs.com, 314-227-9636. Call Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair at 314-227-9636. If you have uneven, sunken concrete, if it is a trip hazard, it's a safety hazard, you need to make sure that you get it solved, and you probably put it off a little bit. It's gotten worse over time, and now you have to do something about it. Home Shield Foundation Repair can help you with a cost-effective method called polyjacking. They'll take a polyurethane foam, they inject it under the concrete, they raise it up, they level it out, and it is incredibly more cost-effective than having to utilize concrete, removal and replacement, all of that. If you have a driveway, sidewalk, walkway, maybe a garage floor, that's a significant one you need to have looked at, patio, pool deck, commercial and industrial concrete as well. Call Home Shield Foundation Repair, 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. Call Matt Hayes. Tell him Annie said hi. Find him online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Mark Cox, 97.1 FM Talk.
Here we are, 11 years later, and the lies continue about why Mike Brown died that day.
The Mark Cox Morning Show, weekdays from 5 to 9, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Annie Fry is back because truth doesn't take a break. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being with us this Friday afternoon. I've got a question here from a listener. We're doing a little Ask Us Anything. And Bobo says, if personality was a flavor, what would the person to your right be?
For me, that would be Brad.
Mm-hmm.
I would say granola because he's kind of liberal.
Crunchy?
No. This is politics. Granola in some yogurt, maybe. Like a parfait.
Ryan, that's a food. It's not a flavor.
Strawberry.
And why? Can you justify saying Brad would be strawberry flavor?
Mm-hmm. He's tart. He's a tart.
It's not a good strawberry.
I didn't say it was a good strawberry.
So the flavor of Brad is poor strawberry.
Picked too early. Brad?
I want to give you an opportunity to clarify, but I think you might just use that opportunity to make it worse. So, Brad?
Yeah, this is hard for me because trying to make my brain work this way. I was like, I can't think of people as flavors.
Yeah.
Ryan struggled too. He said granola.
Granola. person. No.
Just say pork.
No,
or something.
that's weird.
I mean, you're not going to win.
It's not a flavor. Pork isn't a flavor. It's a food.
It can be. You ever had ramen? It's flavored with what?
Chicken?
Chicken and pork. Yeah, chicken and pork.
No. Bobo didn't know he asked such a hard question.
Yeah, it's a hard question for Brad.
I'll skip. Ryan is the flavor of an not an airhead. What do you call those little super sour things?
Sour warhead.
Warheads. I was thinking arrowhead.
See that.
Your flavor is like blue raspberry warhead.
Care to explain?
I think you know.
I think I know.
I make you pucker up.
See, that's really good.
That wasn't meant to sound that way, but I was like, how do I avoid butthole? And then I said that, and I'm like, no, that's kissing.
That's never happened.
I'm like, wow, that's not. Hey, look, you said it.
No.
It's something super sour. What else are you going to do?
Painfully uncomfortable, and if you're willing to wait around long enough, maybe a little sweet.
All right.
See, that was good, right?
That wasn't bad.
Thank you.
Brad?
Still have to go. I'm going to go with, like, I would say like was it Bunny Tracks or something like that? An ice cream.
You are playing it super safe.
Ryan, why don't you let him off the hook?
What do you want? What do you want me to say, Ryan?
Bring it, buddy.
Yeah.
Let me
let's hear
know,
it.
Ryan. Let me have it. Don't say pork. This is the second time on the show I've told you to just let it rip.
Raisins.
That's not a flavor. You've never had raisin flavored anything.
I have too.
No, you haven't.
Bran.
That's not raisin flavored. There are raisins.
That's you.
Gosh, you're a warhead. We're in the initial sour phase right now, for the record.
When do we get to the sweet?
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just spit it out because it's terrible.
Can't forget it.
I understand that. How about Jawbreakers?
That's not a flavor. Do you not understand flavors?
I understand flavors. I'm trying to come up with a flavor, but it's like maple because she's so sweet. No, I'm not going to do that dumb thing. She went to Vermont once.
I've never been to Vermont. I hear it's lovely this time of year.
Well, that's that question.
Apparently, you guys can't come up with a flavor for me.
Hard.
Just pork and raisins. That's
then
wonderful.
you do Brad. You do Brad.
Well, I haven't been thinking about that. I will before the show is over.
Okay.
Quick Rick wants to know, how well do you know your neighbors?
Like at home, decently. I used to mow my neighbor's grass every week until the last couple weeks when they started mowing their own. They didn't like what I was doing, apparently.
Did they ask you to cut their grass?
Well, it was a weird situation where the neighbor on their other side started cutting. They're elderly. And so we went to church with their neighbor on the other side, too. And they said, oh, you know what we should do? Me and you, we should start cutting our elderly neighbor's grass. And I said, okay. And they said, we'll do most of it because they have like really nice lawnmowers. They were that kind of guy. And I'm like, okay, I'll fill in whenever you can, you know. And then they moved. And so I was mowing their grass then forever. So I'd been mowing it for years. And then just recently, my mower went down. And so they started doing it. And now I haven't in the last few weeks.
Who mows your grass?
Me. I mow mine.
What do you mean your mower went down?
My mower shot craps. It wasn't working for a few weeks.
Did you get it fixed?
Yeah.
Did you fix
during
it?
that couple weeks, they started mowing their own. And now I haven't.
Did you fix your lawnmower?
No, because I can't do that. I don't even know how those things work. They seem to work on evil magic. I pour in the magic go juice and it goes.
Witchcraft happens.
I know my neighbors pretty well. Appropriately much. Like, we can contact them. We notify each other if something's going on, but we also mind our own business. The ones on each side of me. I don't know. Yeah.
When you're talking to each other, do you like ask a couple of nice questions and then we go, nah, that's too far?
No, we just wave at each other, say hi, head nod, good to see you. Pretty much it. Check on each other's houses when we're out of town. 2 o'clock hour on the Andy Fry Show next.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Underdog Fantasy, and football is back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. And, of course, now you can play in Missouri, and playing on Underdog is easy. Once you download the app, you come up with a username. I'm going to guide you into some bonus credits here in a moment, but when you play on Underdog, you choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats. So for football, super easy. Touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. You get your entries right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash, and you can play with as little as $1. Download the app and sign up with the promo code MARKR to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. Again, that's the promo code MARKR. Underdog, make plays, win money. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog. Will you be next? Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Feel like your paycheck barely keeps up with your life? At the Financial Freedom Seminar, learn how real people are building passive income and retiring early using real estate. It's all happening live in St. Louis with Lifestyles Unlimited, September 27th and 28th. You'll leave with a step-by-step plan to change your future. Text radio to 88007. That's September 27th and 28th. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007 now.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Police keep digging in Minneapolis. Lisa Brady, Fox News. As families grieve, investigators go deeper into the mind of the killer in Wednesday's church shooting.
According to a search warrant obtained by Fox News, the shooter's father told investigators that the shooter had recently gone through a breakup with a possible romantic partner and was living with a friend in the days leading up to the shooting. We are also getting an update on the amount of injured kids still in the hospital. That number is now at 5, with 1 child still in critical condition. People continue to pay their respects to all victims, including the 2 kids who were killed. Police say the shooter was obsessed with other school shooters and carried out the attack to gain notoriety. Parents tell Fox despite their pain, they are focused on love and supporting their neighbors.
Fox's Nate Foy in Minneapolis. The shooter had previously attended the church and its Catholic school. The killer's mother had worked in the parish. The Illinois governor doubles down. Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker says there is no emergency in Chicago and that calling out the National Guard is not necessary to fight crime.
We have local law enforcement. We have state law enforcement that should be coordinated with. If you want to go after criminals, great. We do too.
Pritzker also suggests the Trump administration's real goal is federal control and to interrupt next year's midterm elections, repeating his claim of a parallel to power consolidation during the early days of Nazi Germany.
I'm not suggesting we're going the same direction necessarily, but boy, it's frightening.
President Trump has called Pritzker an incompetent governor who should be calling him for help and that the people are desperate for him to stop the crime. Sources tell Fox News that Iowa Republican Senator Joni Ernst plans to announce next week She will not seek a third term next year. One GOP operative expecting Congresswoman Ashley Hinson to enter the race soon after. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-895-1414. That's 800-895-1414. 800-895-1414.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The fantastic August weather continues as we get set for the long holiday weekend. Sunshine this afternoon, comfortable humidity, and 85 should do it for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, great evening, 63 for the low. Saturday, sunny and 84. Sunday, sunny and 81. And Monday, sunny, 81 once again. No complaints. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 56 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance and installation, and heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. AirComfortService.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's up, that's right. Gotta love this American ride.
And you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Happy Friday. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. There hasn't been a huge news cycle today, and the shooting in Minneapolis really kind of put a halt to a lot of the other news cycles that might have gained some steam by right now. Do you feel like the fact that well, first of all, let me ask you this question. How much of that manifesto, how much of the video, when it comes to the shooter, how much did you consume?
A lot. Like more than I care to admit. I read the whole manifesto. I don't know why. I think I watched most of that dude's video. It was awful. It was gross.
Yeah.
But it gave you an idea of what we're dealing with when you talk about nutso people who are willing to just shoot people.
What do you think about the fact, at least at the beginning of the show, there hadn't been any developments here, but they have not contacted the mother yet? The mother worked at the school prior to this, not at the same time. I don't think that she'd been, I think she was employed there maybe, off the top of my head, it's like 2018 or 2019 maybe. But what are your thoughts when it comes to what the parents of this individual who killed himself, what do the parents owe these families that are suffering, and what do these parents owe the country?
Well, he's 20, I think, as when he's 20 years old, so he's legally liable for himself. But beyond that, ethically speaking, they are at fault for a lot of this. We know from looking into this guy now that he did a couple of things. I mean, beyond the crime that he committed and then the suicide that he committed. he, from his like manifesto or whatever, he over and over, like gushingly thanked the people around him in his life. He was so thankful to his mom and his family. He was so sorry for what he was about to do to them.
At one point, he said, they're the only people that I apologize to.
Yes.
My mom and my dad.
And he hated everyone else, literally was nuts enough to just shoot random people, hated God, apparently, put Jesus on a target, hated Trump, hated Israel, hated anything. Come up with it. He hated it. And yet he wrote these love notes basically to his family and whoever friends he had, I don't know. Which means to me, it said one big thing. His family did nothing for him other than constantly affirm his bad behavior. They never told him otherwise. They gave him everything he wanted, every bad inclination that he had. They said, good for you. Go with that. And it led to this. So he's looking at them going, oh, they were supportive, even though they didn't help him at all. And to the outward world, to the rest of the world, he was insane. And they affirmed that in his life. That's what it looks like to me. So they are very culpable for this.
My understanding is that the mother has retained a lawyer, a defense attorney. It's too soon for me to really make a judgment on her and her culpability in this situation. But I'm kind of like wide open-minded about how much empathy or sympathy, I should say, that I'm going to have for her versus how much anger I'm going to have towards her based on a lot of what you're talking about right now. Because I think that a mother can simultaneously love their child unconditionally. And if you want to test the boundaries of unconditional love, there's no bigger way to do it than this individual did to his mother. But you can test the boundary, or you can have an unconditional love for your child and still be like, this is not right. Somebody needs to know about this. I would argue that the way to unconditionally love your child, I got to say, like, as a parent, I've realized that most of what love is, when it's manifested, is often in the most difficult times where love has to trump every other emotion that you have. That because I love you so much, this is what I'm going to do. And I love you so much that when you hate that I'm doing this to you, I love you so much that I'm willing to do this to you because this is what you need. The rest of the world, this is a good example of it. The rest of the world spoon feeds whims and desires and fantasies, and the rest of the worldliness part of the world is throwing gasoline on a fire that encourages you to focus in on those desires that we have individually and says, go all in. Don't let anyone tell you you can't. Like sometimes people need to say you can't. And when the rest of the world isn't willing to show up and say to you, no, you can't do that. No, you have to stop doing this to yourself. No, it has to end here. I love you too much to let you continue to behave in this way or to do this thing or to carry on in this manner. The people who love you so much to the extent that it's unconditional, you have to show up in that moment. And, it is a loving thing to do. And I'm not in this position, so I understand that I'm speaking from the outside looking in, but the loving thing to do is to say my son needs help and he's going to hurt somebody else if I don't get him that help, because nobody else out there is going to help him. Everything else that exists in our culture today eggs on the things that he was doing. Like only a mother and a father can step in and, for the sake of their child, end that child's ability to enact the things that they might enact. There's love in doing that. I think the easy thing, the reason why society takes these paths is because the easy thing to do here is to just give in and to affirm. I keep hearing that word everywhere right now, and it's really super annoying. Like the affirmation that needs to exist when other people have an altered reality that they live in. We cannot affirm an alternate reality that other people want to abide by or live in when it affects how we function societally. We can't affirm things that don't maintain a safe and secure society. Just like if you're, people want to say like, oh, it's another white male. It's interesting to me how you're not hearing that this is another white male from the white male, the air quotes, the another white male crowd. They can't do that because he transitioned from being male to female, still a male. He says in part of his things that he wants to cut off his hair because it's the only thing that he had left that was part of his transgender ideology. I think we also have to be careful, though. We can't look at this guy because I see some people in conservative circles saying, like, listen, he's expressing regret that he transitioned. He's expressing an unfortunate feeling towards having been transgendered. I think the word that he used was brainwashed. Is that correct? Do you remember reading that? That he said that he wished he wouldn't have let them brainwash him to some extent?
Yeah, I do remember that
to buy into this transgender thing. Don't get it twisted here. Don't utilize his words there as a way to affirm a belief that you have. Like, you don't need this psycho killer's manifesto thoughts. Don't use that as evidence in your argument that people who are transitioning or have transitioned are not made better for it. Because that's like taking one little piece out of this crazy man's fantasy world and using it to prove your point. You don't need that to prove your point. There's a lot of science. There's a lot of studies out there that show that the transition process, especially at such a young age when it's forced on people, it's a little different. If you're a 25-year-old person and you feel like you want to live your life as a transgender individual, I don't really know how that affects my life if that's just you doing your thing and living your life. I don't need that person to feel a certain way from me, but I also am not going to look to that person to run a test and check on me to ask me how I feel about it. I'm not going to throw my thoughts and feelings into that person's face, but I still am entitled to have my thoughts and feelings about it. The question is, when is it an appropriate place to discuss them? If it's not being done in a constructive manner, if it's only being done out of hate or out of pure judgment, I mean, like, biblically speaking, the judgment that should come from a Christian person about another Christian or another person's life choices should be done in good Christian faith. It can't be done out of hatred. The judgment can't come and just be there for the sake of judgment. There has to be an intent in that judgment that, in essence, really ends up bringing someone back to Christ. If it's not being done, like, this is where I think Christians do get it twisted a lot, because you might look at something and think something is not biblically sound. But if you bring biblically sound judgment into a world that doesn't live there at all, it's not going to hit with the effect that it's supposed to hit. Like, that Christian judgment is meant to be articulated, at least when it comes from the Bible, out in a community where you're talking to other Christians or you're talking to other people who you're trying to bring to the faith. That's got to be the point of the whole conversation. A lot of non-Christians will often throw the plank in your eye part of the Bible. Like, if a Christian is out there and going out and pointing all the specks in the eyes of all the other people just for the sake of pointing out that other people, you're not looking so perfect yourself over there, mister. You need to take care of that thing, while they're walking around, as the Bible says. It's kind of a weird analogy in secular conversation, but a plank in your eye. Like, you got to understand what the Bible is saying there is that you cannot offer judgment outside of the forgiveness of the judgment that's already been bestowed upon you as a forgiven sinner. And people who are outside of that Christian faith, people who don't understand the grace and mercy that has been given, it ends up looking like everyone's out there with a measuring stick to figure out who's the best among us. Who out here is the best? Who does Jesus like the most? Who's doing the most good works? If that's the conversation, then none of it is in the confines of like a biblical understanding of judgment. So if I'm going into an arena and talking to people who have no interest in the Christian faith, no interest in the Bible, and I'm bringing my Christian beliefs into that and trying to levy Christian judgment against people who don't subscribe to that, there's not going to be an admonishment there that is going to mean anything. Just like if you had someone coming from an entire, like if you had a Muslim set of rules come and be applied to a group of Christians who are worshiping together, you'd be like, okay, it's good for you, but that's not for us. You wouldn't change your life because somebody else's understanding of their religion, that they came in and shook their finger in your face and told you needed to straighten up and abide by A, B, C, D, and E, and F. Christians need to understand that as well. So when you're assessing a situation like this shooting, and I've seen this from lots of people, really, it just kind of misses the mark for me to suggest that you would listen to, and I listened to it. We played some of it in the studio off air because we were just trying to figure out what was going on that day. When you listen to the disturbed is the best way to frame his presentation of his manifesto in this video, and then he's got written documents and stuff like that. It's so disturbing. If part of what he puts out there proves a point for you, I think that you're either listening to a disturbed, deranged, in my opinion, evil thing speaking and talking and articulating their thoughts in their heads that I would say are all from a very disturbed place, or you're not. I just caution people to listen to what he's saying when he says that he was brainwashed into believing he was transgendered. I would caution people to cite that as an example as to why you might feel like the transing of our kids is bad. That might be a completely unnecessary point to make, but I don't think you need to cherry pick out of a crazy man's writings to prove a very sane point, that we don't need to be doing lifelong permanent procedures to children that affect them for the rest of their life. We don't need to be doing that. And I don't need this guy's story to prove that point.
I don't know why I dwelled so much on that guy's stuff. I mean, it was so easy to get. Maybe that's why, because sometimes these guys leave things that only law enforcement have that comes out months later. But with his, it was like right there.
A lot of times you have to go get it real quick.
And then it gets taken down.
And then it gets taken down.
Which
so you
that one
kinda,
did too.
That's why I was looking at it in the studio, because I didn't think it'd last as long as it even ended up doing.
But the comment, I think I was watching it because I'm like, what is it that made this guy, who's clearly off the rails by this point, but what got him there? And it just kept hitting me that he, and probably you could say this about any of these people, they don't feel like they're known at all. Nobody knows them. Seen, whatever you want to say. They're not known. Even the people around them. Like, this dude was probably desperate for somebody to tell him, you're doing it wrong. Because everything he was trying was failing. He was constantly seeking validation and getting it in the most shallow form from the people who loved him the most. And then he wanted to be known, and probably all these people, they just want to have somebody or Heavenly Father know them deeply. That's what that's like the human condition.
What the soul craves.
That's what everybody wants, is to be known. And when you don't have it, you go nuts. And you look for it anywhere you can find it. And if somebody will give you a little bit of it, you'll go with it. And the people around him, that's why I say they failed so badly, because he, and really any of these people, they crave that. And if you're not giving them any sort of real love as a parent, you've failed. And those people failed.
I think that's one of the difficult things about parenting is understanding that your kids truly do crave the boundaries that you're supposed to set for them. And it sucks because it's really hard to set those boundaries. It's painful to have to implement boundaries that on the surface appear to hurt your kids. But when kids have a boundaryless life, they wander lost.
And they don't like you. Ultimately, they might like you in the moment, but ultimately they don't respect you and they don't like you.
Yeah. All right. Quick break. Morning Fry Show next.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Where do you go for your annual eye health examination? Ophthalmology Associates, of course. Doctors Greg Birdie and Ranjan Malhotra. Dr. Robert Bersati, he's the one I saw. Or Dr. Andrew Royer. They are available to you and are there to take care of all your vision needs at Ophthalmology Associates. They're on Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Your vision is their business at Ophthalmology Associates. In fact, many of their patients are doctors themselves. That's why they call themselves the doctors, Ophthalmology Associates. Are your eyes itchy and scratchy? It could be more than just allergies. They're the leaders in dry eye diagnosis and treatment. They're the leaders in LASIK and discussing those procedures. And if you're having difficulty reading or driving at night, you have glare from oncoming headlights, could be early signs of cataracts, and they can talk to you about multifocal lens implants. Ophthalmology Associates, youridoc.com.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. We're back with more truth. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Met a man wearing a t-shirt said Virginia is for lovers. Had a Bible in his left hand and a bottle in the other. He said all you're really given is the sunshine in your name. We both started laughing when the sky started to rain. Get along.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. The YouTube poll for today: will the DOJ investigations into the Trump-hating deep state result in any prominent figures, any of them, going to jail? Yes or no? If you were listening earlier in the show, we had an unnecessarily long conversation about what jail is. It's not house arrest.
It's not jail in your mind either. It's literal jail. So
Also true.
If you were thinking that they might be jailed by their regret, then that doesn't count.
It's almost like we're wasting time. It's almost like we're like, 3 o'clock, please. Get the round table in here right now.
Jane?
Brad?
Have you guys heard of man keeping?
I have not.
No.
You know how this...
This isn't about body hair, is it?
No.
That's not. That's manscaping.
Good. I don't want to talk about the other thing.
Yeah. So what is So anyway, this New York Times report says that straight men often rely heavily on their wives or girlfriends for emotional support during times of great emotional distress. Which I read that and I was like,
yeah,
and I feel like it goes the other way. But women are starting to say that they're swearing off dating because of this, because they can't be handling their man's emotional. They can't be supporting their men in this situation whenever they've got their own emotional stress to deal with. And so this is like this new Gen Z, let's name everything. I call it being a wife. They call it man keeping. But
Wait, you call what?
Supporting your husband as being a good wife. And that's what this is about. You know, that it's like, oh, he's too emotional. And it gives him the ick. You guys familiar with the phrase, the ick?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm going to be honest. It gives me the ick to think about the phrase the ick.
The ick. The ick gives me ick.
Another name. Named thing.
Yeah. So they say this habit effectively turns female partners into unofficial therapists and round-the-clock emotional caretakers. And so the internet is saying that this phenomenon they're calling man-keeping is driving many women to step away from dating and to choose celibacy instead.
Choose celibacy? Man, they went all the way. Like, I'm not emotionally attached to this guy. I'll never do it again.
They're talking about dating.
The term triggered several reactions on the internet, while some acknowledged the increasing social disconnection that men face, because that is something that is happening. As men are seeing, they're a lot more lonely. They say that there's a loneliness epidemic for men. But others looked at this thing and said, no, man keeping's a real mental burden. And this quote here kind of sums it up for me, at least. It said, this quote says, "I've heard it over the years from multiple liberal female friends that acquaintances who reject emotionality or caring for their male partners, while my male friends generally lament the fact that they can't really share much with liberal wives and girlfriends. It's just another backwards justification from feminists to reassert regressive male expectations while liberating themselves from any and all social responsibilities." And that is a quote from a user on Reddit.
Doesn't it seem like the question is volume? Because everybody in a marriage does this to a degree. But if you are looking to your spouse or girlfriend, if you're a guy, as the sole fence post for everything, that would be the problem.
Yeah.
And they're saying that girls are saying that they are going on dates and immediately running into this?
No. This is about actual relationships. They're having relationships and they're saying that their guys are they're too emotional. They're trauma dumping on me, and they're putting everything that they're going through on me, and I feel like I have to be their therapist.
Annie, talk me and Brad through this.
We need help.
We need it, yeah.
We don't
emotionally. We don't know.
Yeah,
what's happening.
Are guys allowed to be emotional? Should they not be emotional? Should they have emotions?
Ryan, don't look at me like that.
Why?
Because you're moody.
I'm up and down. I'm a roller coaster. You never know what you're going to get.
You are not moody. That is true. You're not a moody guy.
No.
So what's the question? I need to know the specific question so I can give you a specific answer.
I feel like the question is what do girls actually want from their guys?
But girls, are we talking about girls or are we talking about married women?
Well, this article says it's both girlfriends and wives. And they're complaining about their guys being too emotional.
Guys are kind of soft these days. They've been told they're supposed to be.
Do you think guys are... Here we go.
Let's go!
Do you think guys on dates are using that to make girls think they're more emotional?
To get in bed?
To get in bed with them.
Probably.
And girls are going, no.
I think guys who are not guys are not as emotional. Men, you're not supposed... Here, let me say it this way. Men, you're not supposed to be emotional. But you can have emotions.
Okay.
Does that hurt your feelings?
Not outwardly.
Why'd you nod your head yes before you said that?
No.
It hurts so bad. I need a hug. Kyle, we need a hug in here.
Stoicism. You're allowed to have the emotions, but you can't be emotional. You can't be emotional wreck. You have responsibilities as a guy that you need to take care of, and you can't let your emotions get in the way.
Well, neither can women. That's not a male-centered thing. Women are not supposed to let their emotions get in the way, but women will express their emotions more visibly than men and I'm talking about men and women, not girls and boys who are going out on dates and probably trying to hook up the entire time. So I think what women want is men. Men who have a firm grip on their life. They've got a direction their life is heading. And obviously, those men are going to have emotions. You don't want an emotionless man, but it is not attractive to have an emotional man. It's just not.
You want somebody who's steady.
Yes, reliable. Because I need to be the one who can get emotional without having the person on the other side being like, Annie, get it between the lines here. You're getting too emotional on me. Like, I don't need that, but that's the natural flow of a relationship is a female can be more emotional. You can't be irrationally emotional. If you're being irrationally emotional as a man or a woman, you probably need to talk to somebody about that. Yes, you could talk to your spouse about it, but if that's the source of the emotional nature that you can't fit into your responsibilities in life, then you probably need to go somewhere else. I would say go to a pastor, maybe go to a therapist. But I don't think it's wrong to say that women don't want men who are emotional beings. I honestly think that men don't really want women who are emotional women. That you can, I think it's probably two sides of the same coin. It manifests itself a little bit differently. But I think that you want steady. You want people who, your emotions are, it's a feeling. I see this with my kids all the time. The emotion that you're feeling is real. It's natural. The emotion that you feel is okay. But we need to discuss how you're going to handle that emotion here at home, at school, on the court or the field or whatever. And I feel like if you're saying the phrase about somebody being emotional, it implies that the emotion is the driving factor in whatever the thing is, and it's trumping the rest of what we've got. How about you guys react on the other side of the break?
Fair.
Fair? You gonna be okay?
No.
Well, you got a break to pull it together.
Oh, and I got to do the time check, too, so this is
like
going to be tough.
You got 15 seconds.
Oh, man. Listen for this time check. Whew, it's
all right, we'll be right back. Don't go away.
Call your mom, buy a boat, drink a beer, sing a song, make a friend. Can't we all get along?
The Lutheran Elementary School Association is inviting you to learn a little bit more about a Lutheran school near you. Elementary schools, 34 of them in the bi-state region. High schools, Lutheran high schools, 4 of them in the area, plus 1 coming in fall of 2026. You want to understand the accessibility of a Lutheran education for your child, for your grandchild. This is an alternative that you can afford. And it's also an alternative that I don't think you're going to want to miss. Because Lutheran education offers you a top-notch education in an environment where you're going to feel very comfortable releasing your kids over to a staff that understands faith, that implements that faith, and not just, religion class where you're learning about Jesus, but how you address discipline, how you address gratitude, how you address relationships. Lutheran elementary schools across the area are inviting you to check out the website at lisastl.org. That's Lisa with an E, Lutheran Elementary School Association, to learn about these schools and this opportunity that is right there in your backyard. lisastl.org.
Do you have a dark curiosity? Heart Starts Pounding, Horrors, Hauntings, and Mysteries is a weekly podcast hosted by me, Kaylin Moore. Each week, I'll take you on a dark journey through terrifying true urban legends, bizarre true crime cases, chilling tales of backwoods horror, and more. So if you're looking to join a passionate community of the darkly curious, check out Heart Starts Pounding on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, stay curious.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty, that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Hi, I'm your kid's old jeans. I've been in the drawer for a while and really missed the playground. You should swing by Goodwill and drop me off. Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. Plus, I can get back into the game. Donate today. Tag, you're it.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, please visit Goodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
Okay, the big question of the day is, will the DOJ investigations into the Trump-hating deep state result in any prominent figures going to jail? Yes or no? Let us know your thoughts on this question. It's the YouTube live chat poll of the day, and we will give you the results very soon. I really am genuinely curious to know how this one turns out, because it could go either way. YouTube live chat poll, type in Annie Fry on YouTube, and you will see today's date, and that's where you can vote, 2:37. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Freedom has a frequency. 97.1 FM Talk. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
This man's not emotional.
I disagree. Whenever I hear Lou Bega, I'm like, man, that dude needs to get it together.
It's got one emotion. It's happy.
Yeah.
I think it's the pursuit of happiness. Anyway, get this out of here. We're talking about man-keeping.
Yes, man-keeping. Man-keeping is defined as the work of women to meet the social and emotional needs of the men in their lives.
This is not new.
I can't imagine my World War II fighting grandfather hearing that. He would say,
I bet that happened more in every generation than people are willing to admit.
What?
That women were an emotional crutch for their men much more than anybody was willing to
But
let
isn't
on.
it okay? So I said about this, Brad, you stated that this is about women needing to be, that it's the duty of the wife to be there to support their husband, or this is also discussed in a dating scenario, to support them emotionally and be a place where they can, the men can be emotional.
Talk to somebody about stuff that's bothering you or stuff that's going well or things that aren't going well. I mean, just to be able to have that conversation.
I don't think what you just said there is what the article is saying.
No, the article is saying...
What does the article say?
It's saying that girls and women are tired of bearing the emotional burden of being their husband's therapist.
So we're in a situation now where women are expected to be, in some relationships apparently, the emotional strong one instead of the man. That's what man-keeping is.
Doug comments on here, Annie's hurting my feelings. I'm sorry, Doug.
I think what the article is saying is that women don't want to be burdened by an emotional man.
Is Doug a man or a woman?
I assumed.
You know what happens when you assume?
I am familiar. Man. I think that, and I said this before, I think men should not be emotional. But I think men can have emotions. And women do not want to be in a relationship where you have to coddle and now, okay, let me interject like the obvious here. If there's some great calamity that is like a health concern, a loss of a loved one, a loss of a job, obviously there are going to be emotions there, but there's a difference between experiencing that and having obvious natural biological emotions and becoming an emotional person. I don't think women It's ironic that in this like super feminist, postmodern feminist world where we were like originally like women need to be equal to men, they need to be in the boardroom, they need to be able to talk instead of just keep people's notes for men who are talking. They need to be part of the conversation. Women got there and they're like, men suck and we need to put them down when they need to everywhere we can because men are worse and they have dues to pay and blah blah blah. That's postmodern feminism. Postmodern feminism is not about equality. It's about making men pay. And women know that they have a host of ways that they can make men pay. So we've got a timeline here that has led us to the culture where women are trying to refabricate how men are supposed to be, and so then men think that women want to be with them when they're more in touch with their emotions, when they're not so alpha man. You know, like that's how I was using your voice again.
Yeah, that was me.
So like, I like to hunt things and kill them and eat them right there in the field. Just like you, Ryan.
It looks gross when you do it, but it tastes great.
And you feel like a man.
Yep.
That makes me nauseous. like
Ryan eating a bear in Central Park?
With his bare hands. No, wait, he's using the bear's hands.
He's using the bear's hands to eat the own bear. Oh my gosh, it's like cannibalism.
But not. Men, you know, the most caveman-like basic impulses that men have flowing through their veins and testosterone don't lead them to being emotional people. And it's ironic to me that we are now here in the timeline where women are saying, I don't want the men that the postmodern feminist world created. Mm-hmm. Let's go back a little bit to the way it was. What do you guys think? Brad?
I am 100% on board with what you just said right there at the end. It's time to back up this train a little bit because we went too far down the wrong tracks. The idea that women wanted emotional men and then they found out it's like, no, we don't actually want those. We want guys. We want dudes. We want men.
We don't want dudes. Dudes are for the boys.
We
want men.
Boys. We want men.
Dare I say, gentlemen.
So you want the guy that has emotions but's in control of them, knows how to deal with them. Really, the idea of having a spouse, like you were saying, is you can lean on them in those emotional trying times, be it a death of a loved one or a loss of a job. Where do we go? For myself, like I listen to this talking about guys that are like turning to their spouses to be their therapist. I have never found in my own life that just simply talking about what is bothering me or what my emotions are does anything to help the situation. It just seems to me that it seems like it just amplifies the situation. You dwell on it. What helps me is trying to find solutions to whatever it is that's bothering me. And if you can't find a solution to it, then you just bear down and you push through it until whatever the situation is blows over, passes over, or you get through it. What if it doesn't? Then you just deal with it.
Yeah, but do you harbor it? Because that's what most people who can't process it and come to a conclusion on it will harbor that emotion, and it festers.
No, because if you don't feed it, it doesn't fester; it dies. And I've found that if I talk
agree with
about
that, Ryan, can you just ignore an emotion, an unresolved emotion, for long enough that it'll just die?
Almost, it'll almost die. It'll shrink to the size of a pea. But it'll never quite go away.
What keeps it going is bringing it back up to the surface. This is what's bothering me. You don't have a solution to it, but you put it off to the side and be like, I can't do anything about that. You learn to accept the truth or the reality of that situation. And then once you've accepted the reality of that situation, that emotion doesn't fester. It shrivels and it dies.
The only thing I'll add to this conversation,
I'm talking about negative emotions, naturally,
is that it is, and I think this is for both men and women, but certainly I've experienced this. It is so much easier to be emotionally stable the older you get. When you are young,
you've refined what matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's biological too. I think it's not just that you've prioritized well and lived right. I think it's that you just don't have as much volatility hormonally in your brain probably. But I do know that whenever my wife and I have conversations about this kind of stuff, we have to take a step back and look at our preconceived notions about each other 10 years ago and go, oh, but we're not like that anymore. we're different now, and we're doing better at that now. And so that we should lay to rest what it was like in our early marriage, because now it's like this. And I think that's probably a pretty common occurrence for everybody, that the older you get, the better you are at managing your emotions.
Yeah, I believe that. Libby says, no way, Brad. It festers and blows up as something else later.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It dies. You cannot keep feeding negative emotions. You can't dwell on them. And the only reason to talk about them is to find a solution. And if there is a solution to it, then you find the solution.
What if the solution is talking about them?
That in and of itself isn't a solution.
Give me an example. It doesn't have to be like a real example, but like give me an analogy of something you're talking about so we can understand a little bit better. Actually, give it to me when we come back from a break, because we're long. We'll keep talking about this, and when we come back, we'll get the results of the poll as well. A lot of feedback here coming from our listeners. Rick said, a man expressing his emotions is not a sign of weakness, quite the contrary. I agree with that as well. The ability to express emotions in a constructive way is a sign of strength, because that means you're content with yourself and you feel like you can do that. When I'm talking about the difference between being emotional and having emotions, emotional, and I think what this article is talking about, is women who go out there and all they do is talk about the emotional state of the man. That's not what a woman ends up wanting. When you get in a relationship, in a marriage, a long-term marriage, that is obviously going to shift the burden a little bit. We'll be right back.
Mark Cox here. Join us live Thursday, September 11th at Chicken Ellie's in Eureka as we support Focus Marines Foundation. They're helping post 9/11 veterans transition to civilian life. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
Wow, we've had a hot summer so far. Probably still got a little bit more heat coming in through the rest of August and September. Most likely, let you know, I am still here. If you guys looked up the wife looking through you at a fork, I am still here. She still loves the hell out of me because my air conditioner did not break this summer, and I did not need to call me to have it looked at or have it fixed. But if you do need your air conditioner fixed, we can get to you pretty quick. If you want a new one, somebody tells you you need a new one, we can get to you really quick. Just call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. I almost forgot. bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Will you hold the line when every one of them is giving up and giving in? Tell me, in this house of mine, nothing ever comes without a consequence of cost. Tell me.
All right, that YouTube live chat poll right now. We're asking you if you think that people are really going to go to jail when the DOJ investigates the deep state. Is it going to happen? If you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, you'll see we're broadcasting live right now. Type in Annie Fry, F-R-E-Y, on YouTube. You'll see we're live. Get in the chat there and vote. All right, what was the question we went right before break?
You wanted me to come up with an example of an emotion that you can't do something about, that talking about it doesn't help, and how that would either fester or die. And I was thinking about this, and the best example that I can come up with in my own life, because that's just how I have to process everything, is like whenever I think about, the shortcomings, the limitations that I'm going to have physically for the rest of my life because of the heart attacks that I've had. And I could look back, and there is nothing that I can do to change that. That's just the way it's going to be. So if I dwell on that I can't do anything about that, then all it's going to do is it's going to keep feeding that, and it's going to become frustrating, and I'm going to become bitter about it and all that other stuff. But once I accepted, hey, this is what it is, there's no solution to this is just the way it is, then I'm able to put that emotion aside. There was frustration, there's anger there, but I've accepted it. And now that emotion has shriveled and died on the vine because there's nothing to feed it, nothing to keep it going, nothing for me to go back to and look at it.
Yeah, but haven't you replaced it with a different type of emotion?
As far as I like,
do you look at if you've had heart attacks, you can't do certain things? Like, haven't you replaced it with a different emotion like your gratitude or something that like don't you have to look at that in order to handle that emotion that is a negative emotion? Don't you have to approach it with a new outlook?
Well, part of that's part of acceptance.
But that's not burying an emotion. That's addressing it. And that's you addressing it, I would assume, without other people.
Yeah, I didn't talk to it. I looked at it and I understood what the situation. Like,
but what you're saying right now is that you have a negative emotion and you handle it and you move on.
Yeah, and if the way that you handle that is to accept that this is the way things are going to be and you can't change it.
Sure.
To come to terms with that.
But you're saying you accept it. That's different than saying
yeah.
like you have it and you can't talk about it and fix it. So you just hold that emotion and you put it away.
I never said that you just hold that emotion. You just let it go and don't dwell on it because you can't do anything about it. You accept the truth of what that is, and then.
Do you think, Brian, that men? Do you think it's healthier for men to be able to be emotional?
Do I think it's healthier?
Do you think men should be emotional?
No, but we will. So it's not a water spigot that you can turn off.
Do you think women should be more like? Do you think women as a whole should be more open to emotional men, Brad?
Not emotional men. No, I don't think so.
Do you think this article is saying that women, especially like dating, which none of us are in that realm, so it's kind of hard for us to say. Like when I look at the direction that men have been tried to be pushed into being lately, it's super beta.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what women want. That's not the carnal, visceral thing that women want. And if you're around a man, as a woman, if I'm around a man who's super emotional and super emotionally driven, I don't hate that man. I don't dislike that man, but I do have a different take on a man who is super emotional, who's in his feels a lot. And as a woman, if I have to manage the emotions of another man in my life, it feels like I have to mother them.
Does that automatically make that man seem more volatile to you?
No, it's honestly just kind of sad.
I would think that it would. I would think that what you're describing sounds like somebody who's just a little more up and down.
Well, I mean, yes, if the emotional state is the driving factor in how they go about their business, I will approach that person like the first thing I have to address is the emotions that they're experiencing. And like I said, that doesn't mean I dislike them, but it's, depending on the situation, if it's a family member, like if my husband, he is not an emotional person, but he certainly does have emotions. And there have been times in our relationship where he's had to fall into a complete emotional state because of, like we talked about it before, the extenuating circumstances that push you in there. And you better believe I was his rock in those times. And he better not go anywhere else looking for that. That's my job. But it is certainly the exception to the rule. But if in relationships, if in a professional situation, if in a coworker in the sense of like you're doing something together, not like in your job or whatever, maybe a volunteer situation. If you're around someone and you always have to take the temperature of the emotional state, I'm going to judge a man more of that in my mind than a woman. I'm going to have to handle that situation differently because it feels like, I'm just talking like viscerally as a female, that I shouldn't have to be there to manage the emotional state of another man that isn't my husband.
That's across the board. If you're walking into situations or relationships or people who you just never know what you're going to get, that's tough. And I think that's the crux of the argument here that we're saying that is not really healthy for anybody, whether you're a man or a woman, is you don't want to be walking in and never know what you're getting.
Yeah. I need steady, and I need people, I need people who, like, I'm talking about like if I'm trying to get somewhere, I'm just not talking about friendships or relationships. If I have a friend who's emotional, okay, that's who they are, whatever. But I feel like I can get more done, accomplish more. And I would think of if I was approaching a relationship as well, like the relationship would have more staying power if emotions weren't the driving factor for the majority of the things that we're going to need to get done. Like, I need steady. And maybe I'm not talking for women. Maybe I'm just talking for me. But I don't think women, I think men accept emotional women a lot more because it's probably just socially more acceptable. Maybe society could accept men who have emotions a little bit more, but I think we're probably pretty far there, if not way far past it. I don't know. Let us know what you think. You can leave comments on the YouTube poll as well. We asked you if the DOJ investigations into the Trump-hating deep state will result in prominent figures going to jail. Over 200 votes, 68% say no. Keep it right here, Mark Reardon, and the Roundtable next.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Home Shield Foundation Repair. If you go online to homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com, 314-227-9636. That's 314-227-9636. Matt Hayes, the owner of Home Shield Foundation Repair, is going to come over and inspect your situation. He can help determine the property repair that is needed. And of course, you make that phone call. He comes and checks it out. He's going to tell you what he can do for you. And then that's obviously when you're going to know what it's going to cost you to get the job done and to get it done right. Polyjacking takes a polyurethane foam, injects it under the concrete, and raises it up. And Matt Hayes stands by his work, and he's going to put you in a position where you're going to enjoy a 5-year warranty alongside of that work that he's going to do at your home or even at your business. They offer this concrete lifting, which is an advanced and cost-effective solution, and it's a phone call away. 314-227-9636. That's 314-227-9636. You can find them online right now by visiting homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
Hi, Mark Cox with Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Welcome back, Gloria. You've been helping families for over 22 years with your guarantees, your buyers in waiting program, and you were telling me that between now and year end is a great time to sell. Can you share why?
Always good to see you. When it comes to timing, the spring and fall selling season have historically been the most active. However, due to raised home value and affordability, this market still has lots of sellers and buyers on the sidelines. Fact is, between now and year end is a great time to discuss the sale of your home. I have guaranteed sale program solutions for every situation, including instant multiple cash offers, 100% market value, or my trusted guarantee sale program, where I'll sell your home at our agreed upon price, or I will buy it myself.
Sounds like a plan, and the time is now. Call Gloria right now at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.